It's time for one last dance at America's home of racing. The 2021 iRacing Rallycross World Championship, presented by Yokohama, has had it all. Twists and turns, thrills and spills, and chaos and carnage. But with just one round of action to go, the championship comes down to the wire. Today, we'll crown a fourth champion in 4 years after what has been an enthralling season. But will it be the Brit John Robertson or the flying Finn Joni Ollikainen leaving with their name etched in the history books? We'll find out over the next 2 hours as we say hello and welcome to the Charlotte Motor Speedway and the iRacing Esports Network for coverage of the Championship Showdown presented by Yokohama Tire. My name is Arjuna Kengipati, and alongside once more for the final time this season is Paul Smith. We're dressed up to the nines, Paul. It's a championship showdown. There's nothing more fitting, but heading into this round, 12 months ago, John Robertson was in this very same position, leading the championship. It came unstuck for him, though. Missing a feature race, the championship went to his teammate, Johan Hart. This time around, it's maximum attack. It's not damage limitation, but Joni Ollikainen has fought through adversity the last couple of weeks here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, the newest track on the iRacing schedule. It's going to be interesting to see who can emerge victorious.
Yeah, I've got my best felt cap on for tonight, but yeah, it's absolutely wonderful, tremendous, exciting opportunity for either of these drivers. Joni Ollikainen, I said to him on an interview, didn't I, that he had to go Marcus Grono, maximum attack, really go for it, and he's doing that here. John Robertson, he's got to learn from last year. He's got to learn to not make the same mistakes that he made last year.
And that's where I think the mindset coming into this is crucial. He's been king of qualifying, Yokohama Pole Award winner. Can he carry that forward and really set the marker right off the bat? Here's a look, though, at our venue for today's action, the Charlotte Motor Speedway. We got a sense of what this track is going to be like in the iRacing All-Star Invitational earlier this summer before the iRacing World Championship qualifiers got underway. But that was a fixed setup competition. There is no form book to look back on. You'll start on the pit straightaway, work your way through Heartburn Turn, hopefully not named very aptly here today, and down into the oval and work your way through a track that has got more dirt than asphalt, the most dirt across all 9 races in 2021. And I think crucially, it's important to note, Charlotte does have Rallycross heritage. In 2012 and 2013, Global Rallycross came here in a layout that mostly used the pit straight and the main straightaway and some combination of turns, asphalt, dirt. Then in 2014, they went to the oval at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, the dirt oval, the thing that plays host to our season finale in the World of Outlaws iRacing World Championship. This is totally different. It's a track bespoke design for iRacing, and it's going to be really interesting to see how it plays out. But of course, Paul, before the World Championship drivers get a crack at it, we've got the All-Stars, and it's time to have some fun.
It is certainly time to have some fun out there, and yeah, these All-Stars, they always put on a great show. They're out there doing qualifying at the moment, but this track, rather unusual for a North America track. It's got a longer Joker Delta. We will notice that through the rest of the coverage here today, so you will pick that up as we go along here, but certainly there's the calendar. It feels like yesterday when we started out at Daytona International Speedway back in the end of September. We're now very much into the autumn or fall, depending on where you're from, and certainly Charlotte Motor Speedway. I can't think of a better venue to finish at.
It's been a helter-skelter season as well, Paul, because it's been back to back to back to back. You can go on and on with that. No rest for the weary, and it's really shown who is prepared the best coming into this, because once you get down in the doldrums, it's very hard to pick yourself up from that. But that's where it's been great to see John Robertson, Joni Ollikainen, despite their adversity in the World Championship. John Robertson had to go through the last chance qualifiers at hell. Ollikainen a couple of times has gone to those last chance qualifiers. The way they bounce back from that, it's a championship mindset. It's a drive and a season worthy of champions. We were talking about this last week. Robertson is closer to his championship rival than he was last year, and that's despite having more points than he had at this point last year as well.
Yeah, certainly that is something that we have to keep an eye on throughout the World Championship coverage of how Robertson is under more pressure, but I would say that he's got quite a lot of backup. Last year it was against his teammate Johan Hart. This time, however, Johan is now very much playing the team game in that one, so definitely going to be an intriguing one for the World Championship later, but we're all about set for the All-Stars.
And so before we get to the World Championship fun, we've got All-Stars ready to go. And what a title fight we've got for the All-Stars. 3 drivers tied on 71 points. Let's take a look then at our Yokohama starting grid for our All-Star Invitational and the first heat of the night. eNASCAR journalist and indeed Traction GG journalist for all iRacing things, Justin Miller will be on pole position alongside a driver with some new hardware to his name, the NHRA Funny Car Champion for 2021, Ron Capps, with Trevor Teal completing the front row. Craig Williams returns in the 360 for Craig's setup shop. He'll be alongside Aero HD with Parker Retzlaff, winner at Daytona and tied for the championship lead, completing the 6 cars in our field. And remember, this is inverted in qualifying, so Parker Retzlaff, the fastest car in the field. Remember, we'll start on the main straightaway, work our way through Heartburn Turn, Chaos, Carnage. What is in store for us here today at the Charlotte Motor Speedway? We are ready to go racing. 2 championships left to be decided. It's a long hold, but the engine's rev and we go green. Not a great start from Melillo. Capps already bumper to bumper with Trevor Teal. Craig Williams slides it down the inside, 2 by 2, 2 rows deep. They work their way in through what will be the Joker lap when we get to the racing action itself, but back onto the dirt for the very first time. We are clean. Craig Williams to the lead.
And of course they can take the Joker the first time around, unlike at some venues, Barcelona, and but still up over the jump they go for the first time. And Craig Williams, we've seen that he can be competitive in that Beetle, of course, winning one of our all-star events, but Retzlaff has been absolutely fantastic as we've gone on through this championship.
Oh, but he hits the wall. Trevor Teal will sling it down the inside, barges his way on past. Who comes to the Joker this time around? Off to the left-hand side, you'll see that Joker entry. Trevor Teal goes down. Interesting call, given that he was in second position. There you go. You'll see the difference in lines that are taken here. Is looks like Justin Melillo has also taken the Joker first time around. Down the hill through the double right-hander they go. Parker Retzlaff chasing down Craig Williams. And remember, top 2 advance to the feature directly from this race. But like we do for these heat races, we invert the feature. So if you win heat number 1, you start all the way at the back of our 12-car feature.
You certainly do, and you know, so really you want to finish in second place if you're going to be advancing from this race. We've seen shenanigans happen, shall we say, by some of the drivers who have competed in this. I have a funny feeling that, yeah, Craig Williams has taken to the Joker on this lap, so he's decided to take it. Parker Retzlaff leaving it a little bit longer. Joker strategy, we'll talk about it more at length in the World Championship portion of this, is going to be key around this track. With it being a longer Joker Delta, it's really going to be a case of making sure that you find yourself some clean air to come out into.
And it's about 2.6 seconds slower if you get it right. But of course, with these All-Stars, they're not as locked into the rhythm as the World Championship drivers will be. So anywhere from 2.6 to maybe 3.6 seconds, depending on how tight to the entry they can get. Retzlaff already under pressure from Williams, though. So it does look as though it will be the Craig setup shot 360 Beetle that will take victory here as we'll come through the final couple of corners with 2 laps left to go as we come across the line. What's the gap between Retzlaff and Trevor Teal? It's about 5 seconds. I think Retzlaff's looking comfortable as we jump on board with the Beetle, work our way through the dirt. And this is where a responsive car is going to be crucial. But unlike for the World Championship Drivers Pool, where they have the open setup so they can work with the car to tailor it to their driving style, this is a fixed setup. Drivers have to adapt to what they've got.
Yeah, certainly, and you know, it will suit some drivers better than others, will that setup. I can tell you from personal experience, coming through this section here of dirt is really, really tricky. You've got to get your line right, you've got to try and carry the speed through there, but at the same point, you also don't want to go too far wide on the exiting the dirt, and then coming through this right and left. Don't hit that wall on the inside that separates you from the Joker lap exit.
It's such a tight, twisty, and technical track, and I think one that the drivers really enjoy. It is a place where passing is going to be difficult, and for those who have watched over the 8 rounds of the World Championship thus far, contact, very much a normality, if I can get the words out, here in Rallycross action. Think it's going to be the main way that you get passes done here. in our final race, the Yokohama Championship Showdown, round 9 of the 2021 World Championship. Parker Retzlaff, the Arca Menage driver, to the Joker. This time around, it will release the 360 Beetle of Craig Williams to take victory in heat number 1. Looks like Parker Retzlaff clear of Aero in the Traction GG Subaru. He'll advance alongside the rest of the drivers heading through to the last chance qualifiers. Less chaos, and on the start than potentially we expected, but these All-Stars do know how to put on a show for us today. As who's that who knocks down the wall coming to the line? That's Justin Melillo, who brings up the tail end of the field. Here's confirmation of the Heat 1 results. Craig Williams, Parker Retzlaff through, the rest of the drivers heading to the last chance qualifiers. It's fast and frenetic rallycross action. Let's take a look at the Yokohama starting grid for heat number 2, and it's Luke Knapp who comes into this championship 1 point behind the championship leaders. He'll start then on our inverted pole position in heat number 2. Blake McCandless alongside with Borgesazzo on the outside of the front row. Connor Martell, who was in action for Nitro Next earlier this week, will be alongside Zach Campbell for Coanda Simsport. Casey Curran returns in the eNASCAR Star Car, lining up at the tail end of the 6-car field. So less chaos on the start than I expected, Paul, but 3 cars do not work through turn 1.
No, they certainly don't. And with Zach Campbell being involved in there and Casey Kerwin, we've got some real hot shoes out there to try and mix things up in this second race. So don't say that there won't be a little bit of carnage going down into turn 1.
And so ready to rumble. Connor Martell not having the best of lucks in the NRX Next final, the second one of the weekend in Arizona, but ready to go once more here on the iRacing service. And away we go. Good launch from Zach Campbell, who gets the whole shot, makes it 4 wide as we work our way into Heartburn turn. Long way around, nothing doing there. He'll be side by side with Martell just outside of the shot, but leading the way it's Luke Knapp with Blake McCandless in second. Campbell still looking to the inside as we come onto the dirt for the very first time. Martell covers him off to the inside, and McCandless almost bumpers him out of the way. Casey Kerwin gets the fenders out and forces his way through on Zach Campbell.
Yeah, it was last week Zach Campbell was trying to take me out. Now it's very much Casey Kerwin getting some for me. I didn't put him up to that. Zach Campbell decided to go for a bit of a wall ride around the outside there, trying to get the move done. He could have the inside here.
And he bumbles McCandless down into 5th position, so from 2nd to 5th, McCandless drops. Great start from Casey Kerwin, working his way up the field. No car to the Joker on lap number 1, and remember, with 5 laps, 6 cars, he's going to be a bit of a scramble if a couple of cars elect to take to the Joker on the same lap. Similar to what we've seen in previous races, the Joker entry is kind of offset from the regular racing line, and you want to go full steam into the Joker, you might take out cars on the regular lap who are breaking into that final couple of corners.
Yeah, McCandless did actually take to the Joker very late, though, was his call, so he's taken that Joker at the back of the field. Meanwhile, on board, looking to the inside of Connor Martell! Almost around he goes, but Connor doing a very good job holding on to that. Does Casey take to the Joker? No.
That was pretty nice as well to not force the position, which he very much could have done. Zach Campbell into the wall. Was a bit close. Only McCandless with the Joker. That will light up on the left-hand side of your screen. The one and only time that we'll see cars take that alternate layout. Again, 2.6 to 3.6 seconds slower as Kerwin to the inside of Martell, costing each other time. Martell over the anti-cut curbs and into the tire barriers he goes. Somehow, Zach Campbell gets his way on through.
Oh, Campbell was very lucky with that. He just about reacted to all of that happening there. Now, Campbell wants to get ahead of Casey Kerwin here because that is your automatic transition through to that feature race. At this point in the race, you want to maybe go the opposite of what the car in front of you is doing if you are involved in the battle in terms of the Joker.
And remember that points are handed out in qualifying, points are handed out in the heat, and then the main majority of the points are handed out in the feature race itself. So even in this, where there is somewhat of an unofficial official championship on the line, do want to make sure you get the results all the way through the evening. Here's a look, though, at the dive to the inside. Kerwin almost knocks the wall down, almost spooks Martell wide, and was some contact between Martell and Kerwin that was wonderfully controlled by that Ford Fiesta, and you saw Zach Campbell able to take advantage. He took to the Joker last time around. Does Kerwin go in on the penultimate lap?
No, he doesn't. He's going to leave it to that final lap. Can get caught out a little bit on the final lap, but I don't think that you will see it affect him that much. Casey Kerwin doing a superb job, but Luke Knupp, he has just been from lights almost to flag out the front.
Final lap this time around. Knupp well and truly clear of the field. He did come down to the Joker last time around. It cycled Kerwin to the front, but Knupp will take victory in heat number 2 if he can hold on. Zach Campbell is about 3.6 seconds behind the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series driver for XSET Gaming, who will take that Fiesta to the left-hand side and down to the Joker this time around. How close is it going to be between Kerwin and Campbell? They were playing bumper cars on the start. Who will emerge in second place with the transfer? Knupp wins. Makes it a bit eventful to the line. He'll crash into Kerwin, who comes across the line in second. Zach Campbell through to the last chance qualifiers, along with Borges Azzo, Connor Martell, and Blake McCandless. We saw just how easy it is to make a mistake on the final lap and work your way across the line sideways, but no harm, no foul for Luke Knupp. Casey Kerwin goes through along with him. Rest of the drivers scrambling their way through the last chance qualifiers as we get ready to take a look at the Yokohama starting grid for heat number 3. Blake Bilko Williams returns alongside Simon Feigl, the Altus team manager. Tommy Milner makes his all-star debut from racing at Petit Le Mans in a Corvette GTE machine. Lines up now in a Rallycross car on the outside of the front row. Connor Daly, the NTT IndyCar Series driver, will be alongside GoPro Lopez. Now, GoPro Lopez, big news for him. He'll be making an appearance in real-life motorsports Artesio Rallycross competition in a cross kart alongside, well, NTT IndyCar Series champion Alex Palou, who does also drive for Team Fordzilla, the team that GoPro Lopez represents. We've seen some good performances from GoPro Lopez, so great to see him. World Championship driver in the past as well, going all the way back to the open wheel Grand Prix days, getting a chance in Full Metal Motorsports. But Heat 3 is locked and loaded and ready to rumble in Charlotte, North Carolina. Away we go. It's a good launch from Simon Feigl, who gets the whole shot. Here comes GoPro Lopez in the Fiesta down the middle, almost 3 abreast as they work their way through Heartburn Turn. Bit of a lockup, but side by side just behind, it's Tommy Milner fighting with Blake Bilko Williams. Where else do you see this other than in the iRacing All-Star Invitationals? Elbows out, Tommy Milner almost turns everybody.
I'll tell you what, Tommy Milner's picked up very quickly what it's like to race on the All-Stars. That's for sure. I think that was him flying off the jump there. It was Tommy Milner not having the best of times. I'll tell you who is having a good time right now is GoPro Lopez, because Bilko Williams has just found the wall.
Well, you can do that. We saw Zach Campbell using those video game strategies, that was, as it was dubbed in NASCAR a couple of weeks ago. Unfortunately, doesn't go well for the X Games winner, Blake Bilko Williams, who drops to the tail end. Remember, 5 cars to advance. Plenty of time for these cars to take to the Joker as GoPro Lopez goes about hunting down Simon Feigl. 1.5 seconds the gap here. Here's a look at the iRacing replay as to what happened on the start. Milner, who's I'm sure not familiar with being on the dirt, well, doesn't get the entry to the jump wrong. He'll be fortunate that damage is turned off, at least for today's affair.
And that's it. That's something to remember as GoPro Lopez and Simon Feigl now battling for the lead. Feigl into the wall, and GoPro says, thank you very much, I'll take the lead here. And the Fordzilla versus Logitech G Altus Esports drivers battling it out there on track.
And so GoPro Lopez tied for the championship lead on 71 points coming into this. Out of the 9 races, we'll keep the best 5-point results for the drivers. So it's not as simple as Retzlaff versus GoPro Lopez. Whoever finishes out front will finish at the top of the championship. It's a little bit more nuanced than that, but we'll keep you abreast of all the different things going on in that championship hunt. Here's a look at those point standings and how close it is. 3 drivers tied for first. Unfortunately, Jamie Fluke, with previous commitments for the Apex Racing team, not in action today. Knupp only 1 point back. Zach Campbell 3 points back. Connor Martell are still in with the mix. It's all possible. Now the question is, how will things shake out as Simon Feigl hits the wall once more?
There must be something wrong with those points. I don't see myself on there. But in
race
all
winner,
seriousness,
heat winner.
But in all seriousness, though, GoPro Lopez has been on absolute fire in this All-Stars. I've been loving watching him, and it's great to see him out here competing in this, because he's always exuberant with his driving style, and it certainly is good. Simon Feigl, yeah, he has caught up to GoPro, but that's because, well, he's taken to the Joker lab as GoPro, so Simon will drop back that bit further back. But the Fordzilla driver in the Ford Fiesta doing a sterling job up at the front.
Fordzilla in Ford. It's a match made in heaven. It feels weird here in iRacing where we don't have as many Fords. When you commentate on the Fordzilla guys in another car, I've seen them in all sorts of GT machines, Mazda MX-5s, for example. Great to have Fordzilla in a Ford. You'll also notice the pink livery today for Simon Feigl, and indeed all of the Altus Esports drivers. That will include Bo Albert and Luis Nunez in the World Championship, as Feigl to the Joker does emerge in front of Daly. If he can hold on, it will be Feigl through to the feature, the 12-car feature, 10 laps on the board. He does have to fend off Connor Daly. They're in pink today for No Social Hate, a movement started by the V8 supercar driver Chaz Mostert, who is a friend of Altus Esports. Great cause, and great to see the Altus drivers, the Logitech G Altus drivers, supporting that in this final IRX Championship showdown presented by Yokohama Tire. On board with Connor Daly, who's making his way through the penultimate couple of corners. GoPro Lopez well and truly in control. One final lunge if Daly wants to look to the inside, just a little bit too far behind. And Simon Feigl, if he can keep things tidy, will go on through with GoPro Lopez across the line in style. Heat 3 is done and dusted. And just like that, we find ourselves ready to go for our last chance qualifiers. Nice and easy for GoPro Lopez, working his way up from the back of the pack to remember 5 seconds clear of Simon Feigl. Connor Daly, Tommy Milner, and Blake Bilko Williams. One final chance for them to make their way into the final feature of the season. Here's a look at the last chance qualifier grid, at least the first of them. Aero HD alongside Connor Daly and Borja Zazo on the front row. Newly crowned 2021 Funny Car Champion for the NHRA, Ron Capps, alongside X Games medalist Blake Bilko Williams. It's been a bit calm so far, Paul. I'm hoping it gets a little bit more exciting, although I'm not sure the drivers will appreciate that too much.
Well, I can tell you it's the top 3 who do qualify for the feature race. So, you know, the gloves might come off for this race here. Bilko, though, literally the last person across the line in that last heat race, straight into it. It is brutal at times, is Rallycross, with how you just straight into another race.
But that's what we love about it. There's no time to fret on your mistakes. There's no time to get down in the dumps. It's all about picking yourself up and going once more. That's what we've seen from John Robertson, from Joni Ollikainen, our World Championship competitors. They'll get underway in about half an hour's time. But last chance qualifier 1 ready to get underway. We are racing for 5 more laps. Ron Capps does get a great launch, but has to back out of that one. So does Aero, side by side, sending it into turn 1. Connor Daly gets things done. Borja Zazo will be alongside. 5 cars start this race. 3 of them advance to the feature.
A great start from Connor Daly. Ron Capps is making some moves, though. Look at that. The Beetle down to the inside, nicely ahead of Aero. And the Traction GG driver, well, he's going to have to fight back in this one. But Ron Capps, he's a competitor and a half. As you say, champion as well. So, you know, he's got some fighting spirit in him yet.
And it's crazy to think just how long he's been out there in the drag racing scene. First win back in 1995. I was only 1 year old, when that happened. And Ron Capps has really embraced all things iRacing in that Napa Auto Parts Beetle. Great to continue to have him in our all-star grid. Connor Daly, you'll notice, not in the US Air Force Subaru that we've seen him in the past. And that's because, unfortunately, it was announced today that Ed Carpenter Racing and the US Air Force guys have officially stopped their partnership. As of next year, there will be no US Air Force IndyCar in competition. That, of course, Connor Daly shared with team owner Ed Carpenter over the last couple of seasons, splitting road and oval responsibilities. We'll wait and see what 2022 holds for Connor Daly. Another man had a fantastic mullet for part of this past year. We'll get up to in the next couple of months. As to the Joker, Daly is followed in by Borja Zazo. Interesting call from the Spaniard, as that will cycle Ron Capps and Aero on through.
I don't know about that personally. I mean, basically, for me, if I'm Borja Zazo, I do the opposite of what the car in front does. You've got the time available. It would have given him a clean lap as well. So we'll have to see how that all pans out. But, yeah, let's see how it goes. But Ron Capps at the front. He just needs to keep it tidy, keep it clean. Don't get involved in any shenanigans. Don't clip any walls as well. Use your joker lap when you feel that it's right to do that. But Aero HD doing a sterling job of taking the fight to Ron Capps here.
And he's a drifter by nature and by spirit as well, so not surprised to see him enjoying one of the tracks that's got the most dirt on the schedule, as both Capps and Aero through to the Joker this time around, clearly not listening to Paul Smith's sage wisdom. All 5 drivers will have taken the Joker now, so it's an all-out slugfest with 2 laps to go. Who will advance? Remember, 3 advance, so it's really Capps and Aero who are squabbling for the final trip to the feature.
Certainly, and what a battle it is as well. We almost forget about Borja Zazo, who, of course, he is quite dapper at times as well. There's the lunge down the inside from Aero HD, and Ron Capps dropping down the order. Ron will fight back here, though. Maybe not quite as he wanted to.
Is Bilko Williams close enough to take advantage? No, he's just a couple of seconds too far back. Hostilities will be resumed between Capps and Aero because 1 lap to go. There's only 1.5 separating them. Here's a look at the replay as to what happened heading into the second of the hairpins. It's a right-hand twister. Oh, Capps hits the wall, and definitely not intended. And, well, Aero, the big loser in that situation.
Well, Ron Capps isn't going to hang around and ask questions. He's just going to get going and scarper from the scene of the accident. But he's got a nice little gap there now of about 1.5 seconds. But Connor Daly, we've barely really mentioned him up at the front. He's had a nice, clean race here, and that's exactly what he needed in this last chance qualifier.
Fiesta looking good. First in Pablo GoPro Lopez's hand, and now in Connor Daly's hand. He'll win the first of the last chance qualifiers. He'll be one of the drivers advancing to our final feature of the season. Borja Zazo follows him through, as does newly minted champion Ron Capps. But we say goodbye for the final time this season to Aero HD, to Blake Bilko Williams. So much fun to have Aero and Bilko part of the last 9 weeks, but I'm sure not the final time we'll see them in these iRacing All-Star races. Connor Daly, Borja Zazo, Ron Capps, as mentioned, do advance, but we're ready for the second of our last chance qualifiers. Plenty of big names ready to roar at America's home of racing. Zach Campbell, the young Georgian, lines up alongside Trevor Teal and Tommy Milner. Connor Martell, Justin Melillo with Blake McCandless at the tail end of the field. Reminder, whoever finishes in 3rd in this race will be on pole for the feature.
It's kind of what you want, and unfortunately we appear to have lost Zach Campbell from the server, so hopefully he can get himself back in before the time ticks 0, although I doubt he will here. Well, he has connected. Oh, he's only got about 10 seconds to get on the grid.
Might be too little, too late. So 4 cars will say goodbye to one of them. It's going to be heartbreak for them, but again, what a show it's been so far. McCandless pops into existence, so make it 2 that we'll say goodbye to. It's a great opportunity for Connor Martell if he can get the launch, but immediately Trevor Teal covers off any potential move. Long way around. Martell locks up. Martell rides the wall. Heartburn turn, excuse me, claims its first victim.
It might as well be heartbreak turn, that's for sure, because that was not really the intended line that you need to take through there. Connor Martell, as you say, just locked up the brakes. Back end went out from him, up onto the K-rail, and oh my word, he's going for a bit of a spin dry.
Tommy Milner did get past Trevor Teal in all of that commotion. Here comes Justin Melillo to the inside of Blake McCandless, side by side, in through the first of the hairpins, rubbing his racing, but almost into the tire barrier. Some great action going on. McCandless still has the drive if he can get the power down off the corner. Remember, 4-wheel drive in these machines. Will one of these cars take to the Joker? I think McCandless was thinking about it. Pinched down by Melillo. Melillo holds on. Incredible stuff.
This is fantastic here, and yeah, as you say, rubbing his racing here in the sport of Rallycross, and we saw plenty of that at the weekend in the Nitro RX. Oh, Trevor Teal into the wall with the front of his car, manages to keep going though. He has taken the Joker lap though.
And that's the Nitro Circus Star Car, now driving the Zip Recruiter Subaru that we saw for Kyle Busch. And there's the mistake from Martel. So easy to do. Blake McCandless has to get on the anchors to avoid running into Martel, who went up and over for the ride of the night so far. And as mentioned, Trevor Teal driving that Zip Recruiter Subaru that Kyle Busch on debut took to 4th in Nitro Rallycross, as Blake McCandless straight into the wall through the Joker illustrates just how difficult it is to make sure you nail the line there.
Yeah, certainly. The amount of times in Joker laps you'll hit the brakes and be determined not to make a mistake, and you hit the brakes a little too hard and too late, and before you know it, you head into the scene of the accident. But right now, we've got tremendous battle here. Conor Martel, okay, he's not taken to the Joker, whereas Trevor Teal has. Teal, though, getting held up by Melillo. Oh, nice over-under there, and Conor Martel's trying to follow through.
So it's really between Melillo and Martel! Martel goes around. Melillo scampers off to the Joker this time around. I didn't get the greatest view as to what happened there, but might be another self-inflicted mistake for the Vermont sports car driver, for Conor Martel. Of note, Zach Campbell has managed to get out onto the track, but he's 2 laps down. It'll be his final laps in this 2021 All-Star Invitational. Confirmation that everyone then has jokered from Teal on back. Tommy Milner does have the gap, 5 seconds to Trevor Teal as a result of all of that battling that was going on for second on back. Can take to the Joker either this time around or the final trip around. Will emerge victorious in the second of the last chance qualifiers. There is Tommy Milner, who I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, has Zach Campbell for company behind him. Yeah,
Zach will just be saying, "Hi there, Tommy. I'm Zach Campbell. You don't know me, but you're about to find out." As they're going over the jump here. Now, Tommy does need to take to the Joker this time by, but he's got a good lead over Trevor Teal right now. It's over 6 seconds now, so he just needs to keep it clean through the Joker, and he should have a nice race win.
Well, I tell you what, Zach Campbell was watching Tommy Milner race at the 2021 Motul Petit Le Mans just this past weekend. Didn't go great, unfortunately, for Tommy Milner, or indeed the entire Corvette team. A horrific crash for Jordan Taylor on a restart. A testament to the safety of modern race cars, but the end of the program for Corvette means the start of the off-season for Tommy Milner. He'll take the victory in the last chance qualifier number 2. Now we wait for what's going to be a 4-second gap to Trevor Teal. Justin Melillo, not for the first time this season, but for the final time this season, will advance to the feature. We unfortunately say goodbye to Vermont sports car driver Conor Martel, Blake McCandless, the eNASCAR Contender Series driver, and of course Zach Campbell, Coanda Sim Sports' own, will be in action for the 2022 Porsche Tag Heuer Esports Super Cup. Here's the look at the results. It's a Subaru Fest in Last Chance Qualifier 2, and what a race it was. But the heats are done, the Last Chance Qualifiers are done. Next up, it's feature racing action here at America's Home for Racing. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on the iRacing Esports Network.
Take your driving to the next level at Dirtfish. Gain confidence behind the wheel of an all-wheel drive Subaru STI or rear-wheel drive BRZ. Get sideways with skills on gravel, mud, and tarmac. Dirtfish offers programs for every driver. Visit dirtfish.com for details.
Welcome back to the Yokohama Championship Showdown here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. There's one thing that separates first place from the rest of the pack, the finish line. High-performance, race-inspired Yokohama Advan tires give you the drive to win. Discover Advan at yokohamatire.com. My name is Arjuna Kankipati, and along for the final showdown is Paul Smith with Tyler Maxon in the production truck controlling all of the action. We're going to take a look at what is going to be a crazy 10-lap feature with 12 cars ready to rumble, Paul. And it comes down to this. There are still hypothetically 4 drivers with a chance of the championship here. Pablo GoPro Lopez, Parker Retzlaff, Luke Knupp, and an outside chance for Craig Williams. It's all on the line, and given what we've seen so far this season, it's just going to ratchet up in terms of excitement, in terms of entertainment, and in terms of you and me losing our voices here. Oh, Paul.
It's always a good idea if you switch your microphone on. But yeah, we better not lose our voices. Thankfully, I can switch my microphone on. But yeah, it's going to be an intriguing finale to this race and to this All-Stars season. It's been tremendous fun as this All-Stars. I mean, I got to experience 2 rounds of it, and I thoroughly enjoyed the challenge of having to try and race and also try and answer questions whilst being able to race. But the attention's not on me. It's all on these guys going for the championship, and this is going to be tremendous. I can't wait for it.
To be fair, one of my favorite moments this season was last time out at Sonoma when we went on board with you for one of those starts, and my call, Paul Smith gets 1, Paul Smith gets 2, Paul Smith gets 3.
Yeah, and then the follow-up was, that's how we do it.
It was great fun, and you got a taste of what it's like to be out there on track and to really get under grips, I should say, to grips with these cars. And if you want to get your hands on Rallycross, maybe something else in the iRacing bevy of entertainment that present. We've got 4 different licenses: dirt oval, dirt road, oval, and road. Plenty of content. Well, the iRacing Black Friday sale is underway because every day is race day on iRacing, and there's never been a better time to jump into the world's premier motorsport simulator. New memberships are 50% off. Sign up now at iRacing.com/Black Friday to get started on your road to the virtual checkered flag. Still got 80 seconds left before we get into that feature. It's an interesting track here, Paul, and I'm surprised, very surprised, we haven't seen more chaos on the start. The most chaos that we've seen so far was Connor Martell making a mistake that only ended in his own chaos.
Yeah, it certainly did, but what we will see, however, is 12 cars. Rather than 6 that we've been seeing so far, 12 cars going down into turn 1. The fast starting Ron Capps will be on that front row. I mean, you know, you've got to have fast reactions to be able to be a NASCAR. Well, you have to be a quick reaction to be a NASCAR champion. You also have to have quick reactions to be a... I can see Arjuna laughing away at me. You can tell it's a championship finale. Yeah, you've got to have lightning reactions, though, to be able to be a funny car top fuel champion, and certainly he has got those reactions. So don't write him out of doing well in this feature race.
We can dress up as much as we want, Paul.
Yeah.
But the reality is we're just here to have a good time, and a good time we are having. And self-plug, shameless self-plug as well. Both Paul and myself are nominated for 2021 VCO Simi Awards in the Best Commentator category. So decide who you like better, and then head over to VCO social media to learn how to vote. But we are ready to go. 10 final laps of action in the 2021 iRacing All-Star Invitational. Let's turn up the silver scrapes, let's go trackside and take a look at our Yokohama starting grid. And it's an inverted starting grid. So the slowest starts from the front, the fastest from the rear. That's not to say Justin Melillo didn't show some good pace. He'll be alongside Ron Capps and Trevor Teal on the front row. Borges Azzo, Tommy Milner on debut, row number 2. Connor Daly will line up then alongside the Altus team manager Simon Feigl and Casey Kerwin. While Parker Retzlaff, GoPro Lopez will be on a row by themselves. Luke Knupp, Craig Setup Shop, the final cars in our field. It's 3 by 2 by 3 by 2 by 2, if I got that one correct. We're in for an entertaining start here, Paul. I'm not sure how this is going to go.
I don't know how our maths is going to go either for this one, let's be honest. But, you know, these drivers, they're all set there. Time is ticking down. Well, one final race in the All-Stars It's been a thrill ride for these drivers and for us watching as well. Let's hope it's a good one.
One final showdown. For the final time, these drivers get the engines ready to roar, the lights illuminate, we are ready to race in Charlotte. Great launch from Simon Feigl once more, who makes it 5 wide. A bit of contact for GoPro Lopez. Feigl sends it down the inside. What a move from the Australian. Borges Zazo down the middle as well. Incredible stuff. Pablo GoPro Lopez needs to make sure he gets through clean. He makes contact with Luke Knapp. I think GoPro Lopez has got around.
Oh, that's absolute disaster if he has, but oh my goodness, what on earth is going on? Look at him, he's there in the background, and everybody's off at turn number 2.
Parker Ratzlaff is the driver that spun around in turn 1. Luke Knapp got mixed up coming in through the second part of the corner. Absolute carnage, absolute chaos. It means Simon Feigl is running away from the race lead. Luke Knapp has managed to hold on just in front of GoPro Lopez as they go 3 wide. Trevor Thiel, the meat in the sandwich as they come through the second of the hairpins. That's alongside with Luke Knapp. Knapp almost gets turned. He just about holds on, and synchronized spinning behind him.
Oh yeah, I was about to say that synchronized spinning. It's exactly it. And what that does mean is it brings GoPro Lopez into this one. He was off the side of the jump, was GoPro. Oh, straight off into the wall there, Malilla. Well, we said it's been quite tame and quite calm in these heat races and last chance qualifiers. Not here, not at the start.
Commentator's curse. There's the initial contact. Knapp kind of bangs into GoPro Lopez, who then actually bumps into Casey Kerwin. Parker Ratzlaff tries to come down the inside. Nothing doing there. Craig Williams gets mixed up. Then here, well, GoPro Lopez shoves Tommy Milner, who shoves Connor Daly. That's about as close as I can get to describing what happens there. Trevor Thiel peels off into the Joker as GoPro Lopez attacks him. Borges Zazo did take to the Joker in the opening couple of laps. It does mean that Zazo, who is 2 and a bit seconds behind Borges Zazo, makes contact with Ron Knapp. It's all going on here.
Ron Capps, the fast starting Ron Capps. Did you see the launch that he got from that front row at the start? Absolutely tremendous. But Simon Feigl, he is on an absolute mission out the front. He wants to get a win. Borges Zazo's under pressure now because Ron, he's wanting to give some back. You know, all right, you can push me out the way, I'll push you out the way then.
Simon Feigl's trying to show his drivers how it's done from that Altus team house is what I think is going on. Bo Albert, Luis Nunez, of course, for the Logitech G-Altus team will be in action for the World Championship. Bo Albert looking for some redemption. Side by side coming through the Joker. Oh, that's not through the Joker, excuse me. That's Trevor Thiel and Parker Ratzlaff coming to blows there. Remember, the championship is tied between Parker Ratzlaff, GoPro Lopez, Luke Knapp only 1 point behind. It's not as simple as whoever finishes in front will become our 2021 unofficial, official All-Star Invitational champion. We'll get you the point situation as soon as we can post-race, as in through, back onto the dirt they come. GoPro Lopez only has 1 car in between him and Parker Ratzlaff, albeit Ratzlaff yet to take to the Joker.
Yeah, I think Chris Leona's got the unofficial back-of-the-envelope calculation going on for the championship, and he'll be certainly giving us that when we do finish up here. But yeah, this has been a thrill ride, this one. This is a tremendous race, and if this is what we can expect from the World Championship drivers, well, I mean, sit back and get your favourite beverage of choice, because you are going to see an absolutely blinder from some racing from the World Championship. Look at that. GoPro Lopez deciding to pull the handbrake, whereas Casey Kerwin keeping it nice and clean. The different styles are driving into the back of GoPro. Kerwin's trying to force his way through. Use that chrome horn there, Sunshine. You could get past.
Now get your popcorn out, that's for sure. Reminder that GoPro Lopez can't really afford for something to happen like that and to be spun around by Casey Kerwin. Parker Ratzlaff almost returned the favor to Casey Kerwin there. Knapp took to the Joker last time around. He's about 3.5 back from Simon Feigl and had been reeling him in the last couple of laps as Ron Capps the cork in the bottle. Here comes GoPro Lopez leading the charge into the dirt once more over the jump. Get yourselves turned in nicely. Cap's a little bit wide, but he can get the power down. He'll have the inside for the next of the hairpin. Kerwin to the inside of GoPro Lopez. Here comes Parker Ratzlaff as well. Ratzlaff goes around 3 wide off the corner. GoPro Lopez trying to bundle himself down the inside.
Retzlaff tried the slide job there, it didn't work out, and Ron Capps, well, talk about getting the shoulders out and making it the widest Beetle that there is out there on track. Oh, he's heading for the wall as Capps, so it's Cohen's around. Oh, it was all going so well for Casey, but that means that GoPro now is ahead of Ron Capps. Simon Feigl, if I was him, I would have taken a Joker lap sooner rather than later, just to make sure you stay ahead of Luke Knupp.
I'm waiting for the times to come in to compare Feigl versus Knupp in terms of outright lap time. Feigl indicated 4 seconds clear. So he does have the Joker delta to the cars behind. Remember, 2.6 to 3.6, depending on how aggressive and how accurate, that's the word I'm looking for, accurate you can be on that Joker. We saw Blake McCandless make the mistake, but Feigl has been looking good in that pink car. Again, no social hate, the mission that Altus is here to talk about and to put forth a show for in this Yokohama Championship Showdown. There's the lap times. It's been pretty consistent from Simon Feigl, and hard to tell because, of course, Joker laps for Luke Knupp would change things around, but Knupp was faster, 0.6 faster last time around, and Feigl responds to the Joker. He goes.
Yeah, if you've got a car catching up to you and you're the leader and you've yet to take your Joker, you take that sooner rather than later, just that you can come out ahead of that car that's gaining on you, because you're more likely to stay ahead if you've got that Joker Delta in hand, and then you can just defend for your life.
Well, he has it covered, but 2 laps to go. About 1.6 miles left in our 2021 All-Star Invitational season. Look at Knupp, though. Over the jump, already setting that car up. That's the measure of a young man, a teenager, driving with confidence from Arizona. I'm sure he would have been watching on as the Nitro Rallycross cars fought it out in Arizona, as fighting behind. It's Kerwin and Ron Capps resuming hostilities. Fiesta versus Beetle. Pretty nicely done for Casey Kerwin. Final trip around, though, for Simon Feigl, for Luke Knupp, who will emerge victorious. One more win left to be in the books.
Oh, look at that. Look at the way, though, that Simon... Oh, that was beautifully done around that corner there. Simon judged it inch perfect around that corner onto the jump. He just needs to keep it clean to stay ahead right now.
Can Knupp throw a blinder? 3 corners left to go. Capps has got him back past Casey Kerwin. Oh, Kerwin's down the order. Must have been an issue for the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series driver. Borja Zazo throws a slider on his fellow Spaniard. GoPro Lopez holds on, but out front and taking victory for the final time this season. Simon Feigl from the Altus team house shows his boys how it's done. Luke Knupp, 4th in the championship, coming into this one. Finishes things off in 2021 with a 2nd place finish. It's going to be close for the championship standings. We'll get those to you as soon as we can. The rest of the cars across the line. What a drive from Simon Feigl. Got the whole shot on the start, made it 5 wide, held his nerve, managed to slow down before he ran into the walls at Heartburn Turn, emerges victorious, half a second clear of Luke Knupp. GoPro Lopez completes the podium. It will be between Knupp and GoPro Lopez, surely, for the championship, with Borja Zazo, Ron Capps through the top 5, Tommy Milner on debut in 6th, Parker Retzlaff 1 to kick things off at Daytona, 7th, the best he can manage to close things out. Craig Williams 8th, Trevor Teal in 9th, with late race troubles for Casey Kerwin, dropping him down to 10th position, with Connor Daly, Justin Milillo rounding out our 12-car field. Well, take a breath, relax. The All-Stars are done. We've still got post-race coverage before we take a look at the World Championship action. Don't go anywhere on the iRacing Esports Network. We'll be right back with the winner of today's action. Welcome back to the iRacing Esports Network, where we've just witnessed a championship showdown for our All-Stars that has left the championship after 9 races tied between Pablo GoPro Lopez and Parker Retzlaff. This championship showdown is brought to you by Yokohama Tire. There's one thing that separates first place from the rest of the pack: the finish line. High-performance, race-inspired Yokohama Advan tires give you the drive to win. Discover Advan at yokohamatire.com. My name is Arjuna Kankipati, alongside is Paul Smith. And Paul, 1 point separates 3 drivers at the top. Parker Retzlaff and GoPro Lopez, they'll share championship honors. Luke Knupp, 1 point back. If you'd taken victory, it might have been a little bit different.
If it's the biggest word in motorsport, it certainly is, and you know, he'll be a little bit gutted at not getting the championship. But at the end of the day, they're here to have fun, and my goodness, we saw that in buckets full, and certainly put on a great show, whet the appetite for the World Championship drivers in just a few minutes' time.
The bar has been set pretty high for the World Championship drivers in terms of entertainment, in terms of the championship showdown that we'll see. We're getting our drivers on the podium lined up for the post-race interviews. We'll get to them in just a couple of moments. I think we have Simon Feigl, who is ready to go and standing by here in victory lane. And Simon, you put on a show there, and you've shown your boys just how it's done. Talk to us, though, about the cause that you're representing here today in those pink Altus cars.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you. I mean, yeah, that was pretty cool. But yeah, no, we're here today for no social hate. You know, it's one of these things that you know comes around in real world sport, but also in e-sport as well. And it's something that was a movement that started with Chaz Mostert earlier this year. Just around, particularly at that point in time, there was a lot of verbal social stuff going on around. I think in supercars about a particular driver, and it just starts getting very personal, and it's not really on. You know, the online communities are there to be fun. You know, we want to have fun, and obviously we want people to be passionate fans and everything like that. But at the same time, we need to be respectful for each other. So that's kind of what it's all about, and we're kind of bringing that to the esport world.
It's a great cause, and I think given that, you know, the esports and sim racing is such a global thing, the repercussions for your words sometimes not felt, but there is definitely an emotional impact on the drivers. Talk to us, though, about this track, because you've just had the chance to drive it, and now you're going to have to sit back and watch with bated breath as Luis Nunez and Bo Albert take to the track for the final time this season. Recap 2021 for both your drivers and how you think things have gone.
Yeah, look, it's been quite up and down, I'd say. I mean, we've certainly had our fair share of drama, but I mean, I think that's sort of Rallycross as well. So I mean, part of it is just the nature of what it is. It is contact sport. It can be cutthroat at times, but yeah, that's just the way it is. It's with these short little races, you know, anything can happen, and it usually does, as Murray would say. But yeah, so I think, I mean, Luis is probably, you know, has certainly stuck with it and had you know, really, you know, pretty solid season. He's been lucky in some ways, but also, you know, unlucky in others. Like I think last round was really unfortunate. Really should have been in the feature. But yeah, like it's you know, hopefully, I mean, with him sitting right on the 10th place, so we were hoping to finish top 10 with Luis. So that would be a fantastic season result for us. And then with Bo, obviously, I think it's been pretty well documented his unfortunate first half of the season. So, you know, obviously we're not the kind of people to sort of to drop out or anything like that. We'll stick it out the season, and but yeah, it's sort of been a bit more about fun the last sort of few rounds with Bo. But hopefully again we'll have a good round tonight, and you know, it's a good start with this result.
And talk to us about the Altus team house as well. I know you've got a cat there. What's the environment like for you having 2 drivers for sure, you and Bo, and I've heard rumors that there's a couple more coming to join the fun as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we, you know, being in Melbourne, which is where the house is, we moved in the middle of a very short 2-week lockdown, which then, you know, a couple of weeks later ended up becoming a 100-day lockdown. So, you know, we've unfortunately Melbourne has been it literally has the world record for the most days in lockdown. I think it's around 270 odd days or something over the last 2 years. So it's that has delayed, I guess, the plans that we did want to do. So it sort of put things back. But I think a couple of weeks ago we got out of lockdown, so we're hoping to get things underway. But you know, again, with with tradies and things like that, it does make things a little bit difficult with the backlog of work. So yeah, we're hoping to kind of fit out the sim room and everything like that in the next couple of months, and then that will be more complete. With the way it is at the moment, it's very much I guess as is a normal house, but yeah, that'll change coming up, and then we'll have another driver joining us in the next month. So we're excited about that, and yeah, big plans for next year, so we're very excited about it.
Congratulations, Simon, on all things that have gone on for 2021. Hopefully you and Bo can sit back after the next hour and kick back and relax, but you'll be watching with bated breath. Congratulations on the win.
No worries, thanks very much, and yeah, I love your work with the broadcast. So yeah, we're looking forward to a good call on the main event.
And we can't wait for that. But before we get to the World Championship action, we've got the driver that is tied, well, not tied, he's 1 point back from the championship. It was an incredible championship showdown. Luke Knupp 1 point short when all things are said and done. Paul Smith is standing by.
Yeah, Luke, I mean, you looked like you were having fun out there, just missing out by 1 point in the championship, but at the end of the day, the All-Star events were all about you having fun out there. How was it?
Exactly what you just said. I had a blast doing it. I posted on my Twitter this morning that I didn't know what to expect coming in, and to get a win in the second race, I was already like done. I was like good with that, and then I started taking it a little bit more serious, and I saw the points, and I was like, dang, I have a shot at this championship. And I put some time in this week, and I had good pace, and I was just making too many mistakes.
And how did you find Charlotte here today? Because it's a tricky track, isn't it, to get right?
Yeah, it really is. The mixture from dirt to asphalt is tough because you got some fast asphalt corners and the fast dirt corners. So it really makes for a technical course, but a really fun course.
Well, I know my producer is shouting in my ears that we're running out of time. So thank you very much for joining us here, Luke, and all the best for the rest of your year. Happy New Year to you.
Thanks. I just want to thank all my guys, Reaper Speed Lab and Ultra Wheels. Thank you, guys.
So that was the young teenager, Luke Knupp. And, well, Paul said it, we're running out of time because the All-Stars, well, they know how to put on a show, but we've got one last dance. The championship showdown, 2 drivers fighting neck and neck for the 2021 iRacing Rallycross World Championship presented by Yokohama. That's up next on the iRacing Esports Network. Let's get ready to rumble for the championship showdown.
Today's new cars have upwards of 100 computers in them, and a dashboard rivaled only by a commercial airliner. But wouldn't it be nice to really know what all that does for you? At Roadshow, we demystify the world of modern transportation with reviews of your next car, the latest news on what's changing the industry, and videos covering every screen and every new feature you'll encounter in the driver's seat. Get informed, get smart, and get going with Roadshow. Take your driving to the next level at Dirtfish. Gain confidence behind the wheel of an all-wheel drive Subaru STI or rear-wheel drive BRZ. Get sideways with skills on gravel, mud, and tarmac. Dirtfish offers programs for every driver. Visit dirtfish.com for details.
This is iRacing, the world's premier online racing game. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat to experience today's newest form of competitive motorsport, virtual racing, all from your home PC. Race virtually in endorsed series from NASCAR, IndyCar, IMSA, the World of Outlaws, Aussie Supercars and more. Take on legendary circuits like Daytona, Silverstone and the Nürburgring. Join iRacing's global online racing community and get on track today at iRacing.com.
Nitro Rallycross took the racing world by storm with the biggest jumps, the best drivers, and the most intense action ever. In 2021, Nitro Rallycross is expanding with 5 epic races. From the mountains to the Great Lakes, the desert, and the Sunshine State, Nitro Rallycross is coming to a racetrack near you. Nitro Rallycross, the series, revving up and taking off this September.
Here we go. It's the Yokohama Championship Showdown. It comes down to the wire at America's home for racing. Today's championship finale is brought to you by Yokohama Tire. There's one thing that separates first place from the rest of the pack: the finish line. High-performance, race-inspired Yokohama Advan tires give you the drive to win. Discover Advan at yokohamatire.com. My name is Arjuna Kenkipati, and I'm trying not to get nervous alongside Paul Smith for what lies in store for us here now, Paul. 12 months ago, John Robertson was in this very same position, but his timidness cost him. It was Johan Harp that took the championship. This time around, it's maximum attack for the Brit, but he's got the flying Finn Joni Ollikainen to deal with.
Now, one thing that will be an advantage of John Robertson is his qualifying record. That is something that will put him in good stead for this race here today. He's really, if he can get a good qualifying, get himself pole position, then he has set himself in a great standing for the rest of this event here today. But we've seen one little mistake in this championship. You can be in those last chance qualifiers, and then the pressure really is on.
It would be a 6th Yokohama Pole Award of the season for John Robertson. He's already won the Yokohama Pole Award over the course of the season. Can he add to his tally, secure 6 valuable championship points to build up the gap to Joni Ollikainen? Technically, Tommy Holman is in with a fighting chance of the championship, but it's a fighting chance, mathematical chance, not a realistic chance. Let's talk about the schedule and the road that we've been on to get to this point. 9 consecutive weeks of action. It's been helter-skelter, back-to-back, completely engrossing stuff out on the track, but it ends here today. We've had 3 new tracks on the iRacing Rallycross World Championship schedule, the final of them here today. There's no form book to look back on other than the 2021 All-Star Invitational Pool. It was a fixed setup affair, but guess who won there? A certain flying Finn called Joni Ollikainen.
Yeah, so write him off at your peril, that's for sure. But, you know, you can't write him off. You can't write off John Robertson. You can't write off anybody in this series. But we've been all over the North America and Europe as well, and it's been a tremendous season, a relentless, breathless pace. Here's the track to have a look at here. Things to note of this track: the Joker lap is about a 2.6 second delta. We've got the most amount of dirt of any track in this season on the road, so make sure you keep an eye on it. And as you mentioned there, Joni Ollikainen, the All-Star Invitational race winner here.
It's a great track. We've seen some interesting things. I think the start is crucial. When I talked to John Robertson yesterday, knowing his record in qualifying, he thought it was imperative to make sure he was on the inside heading down into turn 1, so you don't get pinched off, so you make sure you can control the run as you rejoin the regular part of the course. So much intrigue. Let's take a look at how the championship has been baked out so far, where we stand, because it's not just the championship that's up for grab. The top 10, which are the points paying positions, the prize money paying positions, also very, very close. Jacob Rafos, thanks to a fantastic podium for him last time around, 2nd place, his first podium in his Rallycross career, has leapfrogged his way into 9th. He finds himself 4 points clear of Luis Nunez, who does sit in the golden bubble, as it were. Jake Robertson, Rasmus Tuominen, and Josh Fox just outside of there. But focusing on the championship, these points include how qualifying is shaking up right now. Remember, 6 points goes to qualifying victor, and then in the heat, 8 points for a victory there, all the way down to 2 points to finish down in 7th. The main event, the feature, that's where the big bucks are paid out, 15 points. It means a maximum of 29 points are handed out in qualifying. And guess who's on provisional pole right now? Joni Ollikainen, with John Robertson down in 4th. Championship gap down to 3 points.
This is incredible already. I mean, Yoni just has to go, as we say, maximum attack right here, and that's exactly what he's doing with a tremendous qualifying time. And, well, crucially for him, Tommy Holman has qualified third as well to knock John Roberts down to 4th place. It does mean that they're all going to be starting that front four on pole position for their respective heat races, but here are the keys. And, well, we've mentioned all along the bottleneck down into that first turn at the start. The walls, be careful of the walls. We saw in the All-Stars drivers getting into those walls. They had no damage to worry about. They do in the World Championship. And the Joker strategy, when do you take that Joker? We'll see it all play out here.
Well, qualifying has wrapped itself up. It is time to take a look at the Yokohama starting grid and to hand out our Yokohama Pole Award for the final time in 2021. And so for the first time since Daytona, it's Joni Ollikainen that takes the Yokohama Pole Award. He'll be lining up alongside Kevin Ellis Jr., who currently leads the Dirtfish Rookie of the Year standings. Otto Taskinen, who has been involved in the wars so far this campaign, will start on the outside of the front row. Another driver involved in the wars is Bo Albert. He'll be alongside the king of the dirt, Alex Bergeron, who started his campaign for another iRacing World of Outlaws sprint car title this Monday. Matt Busa, Luke Krause, the final cars in today's Heat 1 action. Can you feel the tension, Paul? Is it rising?
This is tremendous. I'm loving this. And look at that, Kevin Ellis Jr. Okay, he's in the Rahal Letterman Lanigan car, but he is a part of Apex Racing Team. Who else is in Apex Racing Team? John Robertson. Kevin will want to get ahead of Yoni here.
He has to. He has to help out John Robertson, but we are ready to go. The World Championship comes down to the wire, and Kevin Ellis Jr. has gotten the launch he needed. Bo Albert goes aggressive right off the bat. Joni Ollikainen defensive to cover off the Australian. It's still side by side as they work their way through the final corner on the track, onto the dirt, across the start gantry. Kevin Ellis Jr. has bundled Joni Ollikainen wide. Here comes Bo Albert down the inside.
Now, we've seen earlier in this season Joni Ollikainen get into trouble in heat races and end up having to go through the last chance qualifier. Will he be able to hang on to at least second place here? It's crucial for him to get some good points if he finishes second, but ideally he wants to win this. He'll be working with his spotter to try and move forward. Meanwhile, Alex Bergeron and Bo Albert are fighting and carrying on what they started earlier on in this season. Bo Albert is the big winner out of that one. Bergeron bundled around.
The USF or Subaru of Ed Carpenter Racing and Matt Busa takes advantage. Bergeron finished second this past Monday at the Volusia Speedway as that World of Outlaws iRacing campaign kicked off. Reminder, you can catch the action on iRacing Esports Network as well as Dirt Vision Live and free in sound and vision. Kevin Ellis Jr., 6/10 clear of Joni Ollikainen, basically a two-way fight to transfer directly into the feature. And unlike with the All-Stars, there's no invert. If you win this heat, you start on pole position.
You certainly do. You can see that we've got Joni Ollikainen's name highlighted in the timing tower. Oh, Bo Albert nearly spinning round, and Matt Busa deciding to take to the Joker laps. You can see one of our championship contenders then, Joni Ollikainen, highlighted there in red on our timing tower, making it nice and easy for everyone at home to keep an eye on how our championship contenders are going on here.
And we'll emphasize, Tommy Holman has a mathematical chance, but it's not a realistic chance. All of Set Esports' efforts have been on making sure that Joni Ollikainen is ready to go for this championship showdown. They want to make sure they become the first team to win 2 titles. Of course, Sami Matti Trogan won back in 2019 when he represented Set Esports. Of course, made the move to Williams the year after that. Ollikainen to the Joker this time around. Where is he going to cycle out? Is he in clean air? Is he going to have traffic? He's in front of Bo Albert, and that is crucial. He's got 2 laps to get the pedal to the metal.
Yeah, that's it. That is exactly what Joni needed to do there. He'll have had his spotter in his ear going, right, take the Joker now. You'll come out in clean air and just push. Push, push, push. Take it to the limit all the way through this race.
And surely Kevin Ellis goes this time around onto the Joker to cover off Yoni. He doesn't even want to think about what the pace is going to be. You respond to the move. You don't wait to the last lap of the race. Which way does the Scotsman go in that Rahal Lenneman-Lanigan machine? We'll find out. Busa still embroiled in the fight. Luke Krause has gotten on through. There is the Rahal Lenneman-Lanigan 30 to the Joker. Where is Ollikainen? Just behind. Ellis Jr. responded, and that was crucial.
Ellis Jr., you've got to say, has taken to Rallycross really well. He's never been in a World Championship on the dirt, and he's really done a good job adapting to this series, and he's showing exactly with a strong finish here as to what and why he deserved to be in this series.
Kevin Ellis Jr.'s best result of the season, a second place finish at Iowa. Talking to him preseason, he wanted a victory. He's got one final opportunity. Some battling back in the pack. This is for grid position in the last chance qualifier. But up front, the Glasgow native wins heat number 1. Kevin Ellis Jr. deprives Joni Ollikainen of a crucial World Championship point. Both the top two will advance to the feature, but that point might be crucial. It was 4 points the gap between John Robertson, between Joni Ollikainen coming into this race. The rest of the field to the last chance qualifiers: Bo Albert, Luke Krause, Matt Busa, Alex Bergeron, Otto Taskinen, of course, spun around on the opening lap of the race. We're already ready for heat number 2. Let's dial up the Yokohama starting grid, which finds the Temecula, California native Vicente Salas, one of the most improved drivers over the course of this year. Drove for Andretti Autosport 12 months ago, has battled at the front in 2021. He'll be alongside Killian Delomo with the ever-quick Luis Nunez on the outside of the front row. Jake Robertson trying to join Kevin Ellis Jr. in the feature for Rahal Lenneman-Lanigan with Tommi Nukkarainen, Rasmus Tuominen, and Johannes Vahanen, the 7 cars ready to go. So that was crucial, Paul. The 1 point that now Kevin Ellis Jr. has robbed Ollikainen of. It might be that. That might be the margin at the end of today's racing action.
Yeah, every point matters, every second matters, and my goodness, it just lines us up to be a really intriguing final. But we've still got 3 more heat races to go here to see how they all line up in that feature race.
The staggered formation ready to run themselves into Heartburn Turn. It's a jump start from Rasmus Tuominen. That's going to cost him crucial. He'll finish down the back of the pack. His teammate for Team GRX and Set Esports, Killian Delomo, leads the way, but bullied a little bit by the 14 of Luis Nunez. Salas takes advantage. Jake Robertson feeds the bumper to Killian Delomo. Luis Nunez gets mixed up, as does Johannes Vahanen.
Oh, that's a huge, huge incident there, and that is crucial because Nunez was looking really aggressive there at the start, and yeah, just getting caught up between the two of them, and to the wall they go. Killian Delomo as well has dropped back from the pack of this race, but Vicente Salas, what a start for him from pole position, staying out at the front.
He got his first ever pole position in his Rallycross career 7 days ago. Backs it up with second place in qualifying this time around. Really has been impressive. Could have taken victory at Atlanta Motor Speedway, if not for Johan Harth playing bumper cars with the rear end of his car, costing each other time. That led to John Robertson, excuse me, taking the Joker on the final lap of the race and cycling to the race lead. None of these cars have taken to the Joker. Of course, remember, Tuominen did jump the start. That will have, in effect, as we saw with John Robertson a couple of rounds ago, drop into the tail end of this field. It means Salas and Jake Robertson comfortable to advance.
Yeah, certainly. They've got a nice gap. They can pick and choose when they take that Joker lap. Their spotters will be, as everyone has, they'll be having a spotter in the rear going, okay, we haven't got the delta yet. Just keep pushing at the front. We'll get you that free space. And as more drivers take to the Joker, it makes it easier actually towards the end for those leaders. Although Vicente Salas falling off the edge of the jump, it's so easy to do that around this track.
Big news for the Apex Racing team. You did mention, of course, that Rahal Lenneman-Lanigan and Subaru Motorsports USA, both drivers put forward by the Apex Racing team. They have a new team headquarters coming up, and unlike what we have seen from the Altus team or even Coanda Simsport, where it's a team house, this is a team facility. They're going to have so many different things within that facility, a broadcast studio, customer showroom for hardware and whatnot. Really exciting future, and from what I've heard, John Robertson, Jake's brother, will be moving in to that facility when it opens up in a couple of months' time, while he waits for Johan Harth to take over that room.
Keep it warm for him, and yeah, John Robertson though. I mean, it does. I mean, I saw the video that the Apex Racing team put out, and it does look a tremendous plan, and hopefully things go really well for them. I truly believe it is a good move for sim racing. Speaking of good moves for sim racing, the front two, they're out there on the run. They've yet to take their Joker lap as they head on to the final lap here.
Side by side, Delomo bumping doors with Tommi Nukarainen, who gets forced into the wall. Well, it's the final race of the season, so Race Control don't have much recourse in terms of what they can do in future races, so they will be a bit more strict in terms of the penalties that get handed down. Will be direct point implications for the drivers. Through the dirt for the final time, Vicente Salas for Elliott Sadler Esports will head to the Joker. He'll line up in second position, the middle of the front row in our 10-lap feature affair. He'll advance along with Jake Robertson. Rasmus Tuominen will drop to the rear end of the field. Killian Delomo cycles to third, valuable grid position in the last chance qualifiers. Rather calm, rather tame affair. Not much championship intrigue in that one though, so plenty of that to come in 2 more heat on the night. We'll wait for the final car to cross the line before we get confirmation of the race results and indeed the post-race penalty for Rasmus Tuominen. Vicente Salas in first with Jake Robertson second, Killian Delomo in third, Tommi Nukarainen. Rasmus Tuominen only drops to fifth because Johannes Vahanen had further issues. He finishes in sixth. Luis Nunez doesn't finish, down in seventh. Yokohama starting grid for heat number 3. Tommy Holman, Johan Harth, they have a lot of work to do to help their teammates out in the feature, but there's of course also a valuable fight in the team's championship, Set versus Subaru Motorsports USA. Quintin Delomo, the Frenchman, will be on the outside of the front row with Tony Latin-Mackie and Garrett Maines, row number 2. Marcus Matamoros will line up back in 6th with Josh Fox at the tail end of the field. Josh Fox, a championship competitor in multiple IRX campaigns, another driver who really has not had the best of luck and has been through the wars in 2021. Fox did get some redemption with a podium at Sonoma. What can he do from the back as we are ready to rumble for heat number 3? Cars are lined up, engines ready to rev, lights ready to illuminate. It's a long hold, but we are racing once more. Johan Harth, the defending champion, gets the whole shot. He'll go sweeping his way into the race lead, but Tommy Holman on the anti-cut curb tries to fight him back. Side by side, they'll plunge down the hill and across the start-finish line, bumping doors. Tommy Holman almost into the start gantry. He'll go the long way around. Johan Harth is having none of it. There's 3 wide behind. Incredible stuff here on the start.
Oh, this is tremendous stuff, and yeah, Johan Harth doing exactly what he needs to do there, moving to the front of the field ahead of Tommy Holman, who, as you mentioned, has got an outside chance of a championship, and it was quickly sort of whittling away here, but yeah, Johan definitely got the start that he needed to get there and finds himself up near the front. Garrett Maines and Josh Fox were having a tremendous fight on that first lap. Couple of drivers deciding to take to the Joker.
Looks like Tony Latin-Mackie has had to retire from this one. So 6 cars still out there on track and circulating, 2 transfer. Garrett Maines 1.2 behind Tommy Holman as the OfferPad Subaru leaps its way over the jump and trying to hunt down the cars in front. Garrett Maines was one of the most improved drivers last year. Has been up and down in 2021, but of course a great podium at Hell Lankenbanen for him in what was his only feature appearance of the season. Here comes Tommy Holman though, trying to make something happen through the penultimate couple of corners. Does he go Joker this time around? No, he doesn't. These two back and forth, Frenchman versus Finnish driver. This is great stuff.
Yeah, the Battle of Europe happening right now as through they go through the finishing gantry. Now, have you noticed how, compared to our All-Stars, the World Championship drivers, through that long sweeping right-hander before the Joker, they're keeping things nice and tidy, nice and tight against the wall. They're not giving any space to their rivals, but they're also just taking it as quickly as possible round. You'll see them here. Yeah, they get the back end out there, but then they get nicely on the patient on the throttle, keep it nice and tight there, get on the power on the exit, set yourself up. What does Holman do? Oh, there's more drama for Fox.
And that's the birthday boy, Marcus Matamoros, that's got tangled up as Johan Harth, Holman, side by side. Harth throws the slide job, trying to fight his way back, but I think Tommy Holman has got things done through turn number 2. They're side by side over the jump. What has happened here? Johan Harth will try and hold things steady. They make more contact. Harth squeezes Holman all the way to the edge of the track. That was a moment that almost ended in disaster.
Oh, what moves and tremendous shot that we got there. Just seeing them leaning on each other through that corner. Absolutely tremendous stuff. Tommy Holman, he's got to do the opposite of Harth here. He's got to stay out on track. That's exactly what he's done. He's got to now put in the lap of his life here.
The 87 car, 3 victories this season, the most winning driver in 2021. Now gets the afterburners set to maximum. Final lap in heat number 3. Here we go. Oh, it's already getting exciting, and all the battling did was let Garrett Maines in that Smithfield offer-pad Subaru close the gap. Is it close enough? I don't think it will be, but Maines once more putting on an impressive display. Harth slings his way through. He's only 1.4 back from Tommy Holman. I think he has it covered. What a lap it has been from Johan Harth. What's it going to be for Tommy Holman, who's to the Joker this time around? Where is Harth? Where is Holman? Harth is clear. The Frenchman takes victory in heat number 3. Dramatic to the line. Tommy Holman advances with him. But it's Johan Harth that has grid position to help out his teammate John Robertson in the championship showdown presented by Yokohama tires. 6/10 the gap. It was a monster lap from Johan Harth. Tommy Holman unable to respond. Garrett Maines, Quintin Del Olmo, Marcus Matamoros, Josh Fox, Tony Latin-Mackie, all heading to the last chance qualifiers as we get gridded up for the final heat race of the season. Here's a look at the Yokohama starting grid, where the championship leader will start on pole, alongside the youngest driver in the field, Jarno Leskinen, along with Atu Hakoleto. He's been really impressive, has had some bad luck, that 71 car. Jacob Rafos, coming off his first career podium, will line up alongside Luis Lejeune, Sindre Silva, Thomas Wang, and the 2 Team Yokohama cars at the tail end of the grid. And this is important. John Robertson has no help in this feature. If anything goes wrong, valuable championship points go the way of Joni Ollikainen.
And can I just say, this is possibly one of the youngest front rows of a World Championship you will ever see.
You said it, not me, Paul. Paul's been complaining about how young some of these drivers are and how old they make him feel. But here we go, the final heat of the season. John Robertson has it all to do in control of his destiny. It's a good launch from Robertson. It's a good launch from Hakoleto. Robertson has the inside where he wants to be. Some contact between Hakoleto and Leskinen. Hakoleto gets forced into the tire bundles. Around goes one of the Team Yokohama cars. That's Sindre Silva. Meanwhile, more importantly, Robertson is clear, but he's got the hungry Jacob Rafos hunting him down.
Yeah, and we saw how quick Rafos can be last time out, and he's going to put on a good show once again. But Robertson, he needs to run away at the front. He needs to get himself a healthy lead and just be able to control things at the front so he's not under pressure. He needs to do everything that he can, as best as he can, for his World Championship. And second and third battling away like that. Leskinen, almost around Rafos.
And Leskinen is trying to do what he can in the Dirtfish Rookie of the Year standings that Kevin Ellis Jr. has asserted his dominance in, but the youngest driver in the field bullies his way past the second youngest driver in the field, Jarno Leskinen, into that crucial championship, I should say transfer spot. Championship leader, left side of the screen, highlighted in red. You'll also see that with Joni Ollikainen, of course, the 2 championship protagonists. Sindre Silva took to the Joker last time around. Atu Hakoleto, after being shoved into the tire barriers, still out there on track. Although I think with that said, has elected to retire from this heat, will regroup in the last chance qualifiers. Wait for the timing screen on the left-hand side to reset itself across the start-finish line. So watch for the battle for second in that transfer position. It's between Leskinen and Rafos. I think Thomas Wangen and Louis Lejeune just a little bit too far behind to make anything happen.
Yeah, I just think they're a little bit out of that now, so definitely it's all about this front three, and to be honest, Robertson's got a nice healthy lead, so it's between Leskinen and Rafos, and right now the Williams Hansen Esports competitor doing a sterling job and keeping that second place. Just needs to keep it nice and clean out there.
And we talk about the podium for Rafos. He would have been a history maker if not for this man, Jarno Leskinen. P2 at Hell, the youngest ever podium winner in iRacing history. That's not iRacing Rallycross history. That's iRacing history. I'm sure the Hansen brothers are watching on very happy. I'm sure all of Jarno Leskinen's mentors are very happy because, of course, he's got the 2019 champ, Sami Matti Trogan, that's been able to guide him through his journey here on the iRacing service. But he's also got some very valuable support behind the scenes. His father, Jukka Leskinen, is involved in sim racing, understands what it's all about. He's also got Matti Alamäki, who is a 5-time European Rallycross champion, good friend of the family, big supporter, very active in helping him through. Does look as though Leskinen has been able to gap Rafos about 6 car lengths as Rafos to the Joker this time around. 1 lap to go. What can Leskinen do? Needs to lock himself into the feature. Doesn't want to go through the mad scramble of the last chance qualifiers.
And you say it absolutely right there. Mad scramble is what it is for that last chance qualifiers. We've seen how chaotic they can be in those LCQs, and how just, it seems to be whoever gets the lead keeps the lead, and everyone else just scraps over the little bits that are remaining on the table. But John Robertson, he's certainly doing everything that he needs to out there on track and doing a sterling job.
And to the Joker, heat races are done and dusted for the 2021 World Championship. Robertson manages to extend the gap by 1 point through the heat races. Of course, Ollikainen took points away in qualifying itself. That gap should be down to 2 points. Of course, because Robertson qualified down in 4th position, Ollikainen would have closed in the gap. But here's confirmation of the results. Robertson and Leskinen do advance. It's Rafos, Lejeune, Silva, Wangen, and Hakoleto, as we said, through to the mad scramble of the last chance qualifiers as we get gridded up for the first of those consolation races. 10 drivers will grid up. 1 will make it through to the final feature of the season. Let's take a look then at the Yokohama starting grid. Bo Albert, Garrett Maines on the front row along with Luke Kraus. Quintin Dalomo, who is another driver who will be celebrating a birthday very soon. He'll be turning 22 in just 5 days' time, along with Matt Busa and the birthday boy Marcos Matamoros, turning 22 years of age today. 7th will go to the king of the dirt, Alex Bergeron, Josh Fox alongside. Otto Taskinen will turn 28 tomorrow. Tony Latin-Mackie, one of the older drivers in our field. Final car in this race. Ready to go then. 5 laps on the board. Last chance qualifier, ready to rumble. And away we go. It's a good launch from everybody. 3 wide, 3 deep as they come down into turn 1. I think Alex Bergeron has been tipped around through Heartburn turn. Just about hangs on to it. But side by side, Bo Albert, Garrett Maines squabble for the race lead. Here comes Quintin Dalomo. Gets past 1, gets past 2. Elbows out racing to close things off as there's chaos in the background.
Yeah, there's absolute carnage in the background, but forget about that. This is the first of the 2 last chance qualifiers. This is the opportunity of getting yourself into that feature race, and around goes Dalomo.
Oh, well, he's going to be distraught, but he did get to the lead with some pretty aggressive driving, so I think Bo Albert will be somewhat happy. Wait for the left side of your screen to update. Bo Albert is in the lead. Matt Buser is taking it down onto pit road. Season done for the U.S. Air Force Ed Carpenter Racing number 20 machine across the start-finish line, down the hill through the double right-hander. Garrett Maines hunting down Bo Albert. 2 drivers not on the best of terms, let's put it that way.
yeah, it all stems back to Brands Hatch, doesn't it, when turn number 1 happened between the two of them. And yeah, they won't forget. Long memories of Rallycross drivers, and they will have that in the back of their minds. But Bo, it's safe to say he's had an absolute stinker of a season. He'll be happy with me saying that, but he wants to finish off on a high, and getting into that feature race for the finale would be at least a little bit of a consolation for his season.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to think that for Bo Albert, 1 feature this season, and that came back at Atlanta when he finished in 10th. For a driver that had top 10 aspirations over the season, that's not the season you want. And he's been pretty candid on social media as to how frustrated he's been with the way that his luck has gone. And Paul, you said that maybe he needed to get a little bit more aggressive. But when he did get aggressive, it cost his teammate.
Yeah, that's the thing, you know, it's all well and good fighting and trying to stand your own ground, but when you've got your teammate involved in that, that is not ideal, that's for sure. But right now, he's out front. He's got I would say comfortable lead, but it's never comfortable in Rallycross, is it? That's for sure, especially not in a last chance qualifier. Garrett Maines, though, in 2nd place. I mean, he can be... Again, there's a few of these drivers who will be maybe thinking, what if? You know, what if I hadn't had this happen or that happen? And I think we've seen that throughout these last chance qualifiers for those who have been having to fight their way through.
But that's not how Rallycross works, right? But it's just such a... I don't want to say luck of the draw, but you get lucky sometimes. Someone else will lose out, and it'll be returned at another point. As onto the final lap of the season for some of these drivers. No jokers taken at the front. Does look as though Bo Albert, comfortable and in control, will advance to just his 2nd feature of the season. But that's how Rallycross works, right, Paul? Contact sport, cage match on wheels. Sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, certainly, and yeah, we've been using that analogy all the way through the season. Sometimes it's gone a little bit more bare-knuckle boxing rather than cage match on wheels, but certainly these drivers, you know, they've been aggressive. A lot of these drivers will be happy to see the end of this season.
That definitely includes Bo Albert, but to the Joker, peel off the top 4 cars. At least one thing has gone right to close off the 2021 campaign. Bo Albert wins the first of the last chance qualifiers. He'll line up in 9th position then in our final race of the 2021 season. The rest of the drivers dust themselves off and look forward to what the rest of the year and what 2022 will hold in store for them. Here's a look at your race results. Bo Albert almost 2 seconds clear, really stretched his legs after the opening couple of laps and some bumper banging to start things off. Garrett Maines, Luke Krause, Marcos Matamoros, Tony Latin-Mackie, Alex Bergeron, Otto Taskinen, Quintin Del Lomo, Josh Fox, Matt Busa wave on goodbye for 2021. Of course, happy birthday for Marcos Matamoros, Otto Taskinen, and Quintin Del Lomo. Here's a look at the grid then for last chance qualifier number 2. Killian Del Lomo has impressed on occasion, but he'll be alongside the always quick and always hungry Jacob Rafos, Tommy Nukarainen on the outside of the front row. Luis Lejeune will line up alongside Rasmus Tuominen with some real-world Rallycross to his name, has flipped a Super 1600 car, if that counts, as experienced Sindre Silva in 6th, along with Johannes Vahanen, the 2nd of the Team Yokohama cars. Thomas Wangen down in 8th position. Luis Nunez, Atu Hakoleto, the 10 cars ready to go. Remember, for Luis Nunez, was trying to fight for Dirtfish Rookie of the Year, just a little bit too far back at this point. Looks like that's going to Kevin Ellis Jr. But for one final time, 9 drivers on the grid and ready to launch themselves here in Rallycross action at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Engines sing, lights illuminate. Did the 21 of Lejeune get a jump start, or did he time it to perfection? He's in the lead in the Sonax Ed Carpenter Racing Subaru. Behind him, Del Lomo side by side with Jacob Rafos. There was a car that peeled its way into the tire barrier at Heartburn turn. Rafos gets ping-ponged across the walls, almost takes out Tuominen. Oh, and one of the Team Yokohamas goes around.
Yeah, it was Thomas Wangen, I think it was, who went around. Joris Verheyen was the one who went off at turn 1, and Luis Nunes now is the latest of the cars to have issues further back. Well, the one who's singing at the front is Louis Lejeune. Now, as you say, did he get that start right, or was it a slight jump start? I think potentially he's done what John Robertson did, not a couple of weeks ago, but back at Brands Hatch, got a perfect launch, but Delomo down the inside, Lejeune thinking, right, I'll take to the Joker.
Yeah, Lejeune didn't have a choice because Delomo had the inside line. Lejeune almost forced to take the Joker and to make sure he minimizes the time he loses to make sure it's at a minimum for the Ed Carpenter Racing number 21. If that's not a jump start, that makes 2 starts this season, which could go down in the history books as best starts of all time. Gets a little bit sideways over the jump, manages to hold on. That's going to cost him valuable time in the gap to Killian Delomo out front. Now, the gap between Killian and Louis Lejeune, the first car to take to the Joker, is about 2.5 seconds, so it's about the Joker delta. Lejeune can't afford to get mixed up with any of the cars behind him right now.
No, he certainly can't, and one of them helps him out, Tommy Nukkarainen, then to the Joker. So Lejeune is released and doesn't have that pressure from behind. Your top 3 yet to go to the Joker. And well, it's 2 Set Esports drivers out at the front of this one of Killian Delomo and Rasmus Toivonen. But right now, Delomo, he needs to push hard and try and keep that gap, and I think he's actually extended that gap just a little bit over Lejeune.
Rasmus Toivonen is going to be a bit frustrated with how the 2021 season has gone for him. He was the golden pineapple, as he called it, out of 2020. That means he finished in 11th, the first car out of the prize-paying positions, the first car that in effect got nothing for all of the hard work he did. He finished his military service. In fact, he missed some races last year and had practice derailed because of his military service. Was confident coming into this one, but it's been a season where best finisher 4th at Phoenix, missed out on the feature at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Other than that, mired in the back half of the top 10, didn't even start at Sonoma 7 days ago. Looks like his season is going to go out with a whimper here today, because rule number 1 of racing, don't hit your teammate. I think Killian Delomo would be pretty frustrated if these two came together. Either car going to the Joker this time around. Toivonen has to cover for Jacob Rafals, who went down last time. That means Killian Delomo will take the white flag. 1 more lap to go. Delomo still yet to Joker. Looks as though Toivonen has held in front of Jacob Rafals. Left side of the screen, you can see, lit up for everyone except Killian Delomo, who will take the Joker this time around and advance his way into the final race of the season.
And look at how much those little mistakes that Lejeune made earlier on after his Joker. It's dropped down to 4th place in this race when he led on lap 1.
And we'll find out in a couple of moments' time if it was the start of his lifetime or if iRacing has dinged him with an automatic penalty. That's the automated race control system for you. But Delomo to the Joker this time around as Toivonen and Rafals squabbling for scraps. But it will be Killian Delomo that wins the second of the last chance qualifiers. He'll line up in the 10th and final starting position for our final feature race of the season here in our Yokohama Championship Showdown. Some style points on offer for the drivers finishing up their season across the line. They'll wave goodbye to us and regroup and rebound at home. Here's confirmation of the results. Killian Delomo, the Frenchman, goes on through. Toivonen, Rafals, Lejeune, Hakkilahti, Nukkarainen, Nunes, Wangen, Silva, and Verheyen are done in 2021. Well, it comes down to this. 10 final laps here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway in our Yokohama Championship Showdown. The championship gap is 4 points. Will it be John Robertson? Will it be Joni Ollikainen? Well, don't go anywhere on the iRacing Esports Network. We'll find out, next as we come back for feature racing action.
This is iRacing, the world's premier online racing game. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat to experience today's newest form of competitive motorsport, virtual racing, all from your home PC. Race virtually in indoor series from NASCAR, IndyCar, IMSA, the World of Outlaws, Aussie Supercars and more. Take on legendary circuits like Daytona, Silverstone and the Nürburgring. Join iRacing's global online racing community and get on track today at iRacing.com.
Well, we are ready to find out who our champion will be in 2021, a fourth champion in 4 years, as we're live from the Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Yokohama Championship Showdown. There's one thing that separates first place from the rest of the pack, the finish line. High-performance, race-inspired Yokohama Advan tires give you the drive to win. Discover Advan at yokohamatire.com. My name is Arjuna Kangipati, delighted to be alongside Paul Smith as we get ready for a championship battle for the ages. We were talking in that break, Paul. There's a very realistic possibility this championship goes down to countback. 4 points. That's all that separates John Robertson from Joni Ollikainen. If Ollikainen can win, he would take the lead in the countback, but it does mean John Robertson has to finish outside of the top 4.
I mean, it's a case of if, what, maybe. This is what we wanted, isn't it? This is what we wanted to see. Coming into the final round of the championship and seeing the two of them head-to-head in this feature race. My goodness, and the crucial thing for John Robertson is that he finished first place in his heat, whereas Joni Ollikainen finished second place in his heat. So Ollikainen's going to be starting that mid-pack of the grid. So definitely, I mean, things are up in the air right now. This is tremendous. I cannot wait for this feature race.
Well, and to update, I want to correct myself because I've done the math wrong. Never trust the commentator's math, but trust the production truck and their math. If Joni wins, John has to finish second. It's simple. Maximum attack. There can be no room for timidity, for cautiousness, for anything like that. Here's confirmation of how things stand. It is all on the line. 191 points for John Robertson, the Subaru Motorsports USA driver. For Ollikainen, 4 points back. Remember, 15 points to the winner, 12 points goes to second, 10 points to third. We're not expecting these drivers to finish outside of the top 3, given that they know the championship is on the line. You better bet their competitors know that as well.
Do you know who's going to throw the spanner in the works here? Johan Harff and Kevin Ellis Jr. They're going to be doing everything that they can to try and just force Joni Ollikainen out of those championship winning potential points positions. So it's going to be a very big team game, and you know, Joni has got to do it the hard way with just Tommy along with him out of this. He does have another teammate, of course, Killian Delomo from Set Esports, but yeah, don't miss this. This is going to be tremendous.
And if you're watching, thinking you want to get involved, maybe there's something else on the iRacing service that tickles your fancy, well, it's a great time to get joined up with iRacing because every day is race day on the iRacing service, and there's never been a better time to jump into the world's premier motorsport simulator. New memberships for Black Friday are 50% off. Sign up now at iRacing.com/Black Friday to get started on your road to the virtual checkered flag. Take a breath. Get ready, get the popcorn out, sit down and relax. You're in for a championship showdown. Let's turn up the most famous song in all of esports. Let's get hyped for the final time this season. We'll take a look at the Yokohama starting grid here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Kevin Ellis Jr. will lead us to the green flag for the first time in his Rallycross career. He'll be alongside Vicente Salas and the defending champion, the outgoing champion, Johan Harff. The championship protagonists will be alongside one another. John Robertson, Joni Ollikainen, row 2 of the grid with Jake Robertson, Tommy Holman, Jarno Leskinen, 6th, 7th, and 8th positions. Bo Albert, Killian Delomo, final cars on this field. It's all about the team game now. Kevin Ellis Jr., Johan Harff, they can help out John Robertson in front of those top 2 cars. Jake Robertson can also help his brother out. Joni Ollikainen only has Tommy Holman and Killian Delomo to help him out.
Yeah, and here's another curveball into all this. Vicente Salas starting the middle of that front row.
We are ready. One final showdown. The engines begin to rev, the lights begin to illuminate. The championship comes down to this. We are ready to race at Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's a good launch from Johan Hart. It's a great launch from Joni Ollikainen, but he's boxed in as side by side. Vicente Salas takes the race lead. Robertson trying to fight back with Ollikainen as Kevin Ellis Jr. has getting swarmed off the start. He's going to box out John Robertson. Where does Ollikainen want to go? Because Johan Hart is being a roadblock. There we go. John Robertson gets on past Hart. He gets past Ollikainen as well.
Oh, that is crucial for Robertson right now, and Half is doing the best job that a teammate can do right now. Be that rolling roadblock, although Ollikainen down the inside of Half says, no sunshine, there's contact between Half and Ollikainen.
Oh. Tommy Holman returns the favor there. Sorry, Paul, I'm getting so excited I could barely control myself. Ollikainen almost got spun by Johan Hart, corrected himself with Tommy Holman's help as Bo Albert, well, story of his season, around he goes once more. The Australian is going to be apoplectic with that one, but Robertson and Ollikainen run third and fourth position. 6 points separates them. Salas and Kevin Ellis Jr. in front of them.
I don't know how these drivers are doing, but my heart rate has just jumped up 100. It's absolutely tremendously exciting, is this? Johan Half looking to the inside, and he's forcing the move on Ollikainen. This is crucial. Half goes around, Ollikainen's pushed him round, and Tommy Holman is having to back off.
Well, crucially, that's held up Ollikainen. This is where the team games come into play. Gap between Robertson and Ollikainen is 3 full seconds. Robertson could take the Joker and emerge in front of Joni Ollikainen. Here's a look at the iRacing replay through the second of the right-hand hairpins. Hart bullies his way on past. Not much Ollikainen can really do because Hart hits the inside wall and is spat back out into his path. Hart goes around. Ultimately, it's the time lost that's the bigger story there.
Hart will just be rubbing his hands going, well, that's my job done. He's done exactly what he needed to do right there. You could call it professional foul all you want, but the thing here is that Ollikainen has got, well, Kevin Ellis Jr., who crucially has just gone through the Joker lap here. He's got Vicente Salas in front as well, and more crucially, John Robertson, highlighted in red, second place at the moment on the road. He's ahead of Ollikainen.
8 points. That's the gap right now, and like you said, crucially, Kevin Ellis Jr. in between Robertson and Ollikainen. If you're Ollikainen, you could take the Joker this time around, find some more clean air because you've got Jarno Leskinen about 3.5 seconds behind you, but I don't know how you play this one. It's not looking good for said esports right now.
Certainly not. They found themselves in that tricky position further down the grid, and they're always fighting an uphill battle here, but you know, never say never with this team. They will fight all the way to the bitter end, but as we get closer to the halfway point of this race, you have to say that John Robertson right now, he's just got to keep his focus here. He's just got to keep calm, keep that blood pressure down, and you can see that face. There's no emotion on that face. He knows that he's just got to keep going forward, keep pushing forward.
There's no emotion now, but I tell you, if we cross the line and Robertson becomes a world champion, it will be relief, it will be excitement, it's going to be a smorgasbord of emotions. Does look as though Ollikainen is jokering this time around. I think that's a good call. It will release himself from Ellis Jr. in front, maybe playing some mental mind games, and now he's got to push. He's got to get the pedal to the metal. He has to close the gap to John Robertson to about 2.6 seconds. Easier said than done. While we focus on the championship though, Paul, let's not discredit the job that Vicente Salas has done in 2021 to improve from what was a torrid 2020 where he really was a pinball in the VW Beetle. He's joined up with Elliott Sadler Esports. He switched to the Subaru. He's looking on course to take his first victory in his Rallycross career.
Yeah, and he has done a superb job as Vicente. He deserves the plaudits. It's almost a bit of a crime that we're having to focus so much on the championship protagonists because of how he's driving. He's doing a sterling job at the front there, and well, the California native, he's not had the best of times out there in the feature races and did not even reach some of the feature races, but recently has really picked up that pace.
Something in the water in Temecula, California, because, well, there's a certain Coanda SimSport driver. You might know him. He's called Mitchell de Jong. He also originates from Temecula, California, of course, our inaugural iRacing Rallycross world champion. Elected to revoke his license to focus on the eNASCAR iRacing Coca-Cola Series for 2021. Maybe we'll see him back in action in 2022. Over the jump, 3 laps to go. Robertson holds his destiny in his hands. He is 6 seconds clear of Joni Ollikainen.
Yeah, and that is crucial. I mean, yeah, you talk about 6 seconds. John Robertson, as I said, he's just keeping it clean, keeping it safe. Can't afford to get involved in any walls, any shenanigans, and he's kept his nose clean throughout this race, and he's done a sterling job. He's yet to take that joker lap, of course. He'll probably take it on the penultimate lap, or indeed the last lap of this race.
He will cycle behind Kevin Ellis Jr. Tommy Holman will cycle behind his teammate Joni Ollikainen, but that's academic at this point. It's going to be Robertson that is world champion if he can hold on with 1.5 laps to go. Redemption for last year, where we came in to the championship showdown in this exact same scenario, missed out on the feature race, and had to watch from the sidelines as Johan Harth became world champion. That Robertson household, well, it's going to be a fun party, I have no doubt, to close off this 2021 season.
Yeah, and Jake, his brother as well, out there on track, currently in 8th place. He'll be delighted for his brother as well. It'll be certainly be well, maybe not the champagne, but certainly some beverages will be flowing tonight. That is for sure. Kevin Ellis Jr. is actually getting closer to John here, but he won't challenge him because, of course, both himself, Robertson and Salas have to take to the joker lap.
It's been an incredible ride in 2021. It's been Subaru Motorsports USA versus Set Esports right off the bat. 12 months ago, it was heartbreak for John Robertson, watching on as the championship was ripped from his clutches. But he's been consistent to bounce back in 2021, 2 victories, and finally an iRacing world champion. Drink it in, John Robertson, and welcome to the champion circle. You can see the relief on his face, and it's well deserved. It's been an extraordinary campaign for him, dominant in qualifying, consistent race performances, and now an iRacing world champion in 2021. First career victory to Vicente Salas. Let's not discredit what the Temecula, California native has done in this campaign. Should have taken victory, if you ask me, at Atlanta. Johan Harth helped John Robertson pit him there in what was our second race of the campaign. A second place finish for Kevin Ellis Jr. Misses out on that elusive victory that he really, really wanted, but he's thrilled with what a performance it's been. Dirtfish Rookie of the Year, Kevin Ellis Jr. Our world champion, John Robertson. 3rd place is enough to secure $10,000 and world championship glory. For Joni Ollikainen, the question will be, what if? What if he had won his heat and beaten Kevin Ellis Jr.? Tommy Holman played the team game, comes home in 5th position, 3rd place in the championship. Jarno Leskinen down in 6th, the youngest driver in our field. Johan Harth, outgoing world champion, will celebrate with John Robertson. Jake Robertson in 8th with Killian Delomo down in 9th. And story of the season for Bo Albert, contact retires him from this race. The celebrations are ongoing at America's home for racing. John Robertson is your 2021 iRacing Rallycross World Champion. Don't go anywhere. We'll have post-race coverage right up next on the iRacing Esports Network.
Nitro Rallycross took the racing world by storm with the biggest jumps, the best drivers, and the most intense action ever. In 2021, Nitro Rallycross is expanding with 5 epic races. From the mountains to the Great Lakes, the desert, and the Sunshine State, Nitro Rallycross is coming to a racetrack near you. Nitro Rallycross, the series, revving up and taking off this September.
Well, it came down to the wire, but John Robertson is your 2021 iRacing Rallycross World Champion. Back-to-back for the Apex Racing team. It was with Team Yokohama last year as Johan Harth became the champion. This time, it's John Robertson for Subaru Motorsports USA. My name is Arjuna Kankipati, still trying to catch my breath alongside Paul Smith as we drink it in. What a season it was, and what a fun campaign it's been, Paul. And from the start, it was Subaru versus Set. That was the story that we were focused on. Ultimately, it was those two that battled it to the end. Yes, John Robertson is your iRacing Rallycross World Champion. Set Esports are still your team champions.
Absolutely. They've got that crumb of comfort there that they won the team championship. So definitely a good day for them, though, still to be a champion in some form or other. But for Joni Olakainen, he'll be disappointed that he hasn't won the individual, the Drivers' Championship here today. But you have to say, it's been a tremendous drive all season from John Robertson in that Subaru Motorsports USA outfit, and he's done a tremendous job to overcome the demons of last season.
When I spoke to him a couple of days ago, he had put forth those demons in his mind, put them on the back burner. It was about making sure he controlled his destiny. No being passive, it was about aggressiveness, making sure he was dominant today, and third place enough to secure him the 2021 iRacing Rallycross World Championship. We have your world champion standing by now. John, take a deep breath, take a sigh of relief. Talk to us about how excited you are now.
Oh, it's crazy. We've been working towards this for 4 years now. For it to be that close as well, yeah, that whole race, my heart was just pounding. Yeah, I'm so glad to get it done.
And I'm sure you and your brother are going to celebrate. You guys race rooms apart now, and I'm sure the entire family will join in. But talk to us more about how you and the Apex Racing team are going to celebrate this. Of course, brand new facility coming into play. You'll be opening that up in a couple of months' time. You'll be moving in there for at least the first couple of months. What does this mean for the team? Because last year it was Johan, this year it was you. I mean, I'm sure you guys are thrilled.
Yeah, I mean, obviously first I need to thank Kev, Johan, Jake for all the help this year. George as well for spotting every race. He's been great. And then obviously our partners as well. We've got SDK Gaming, Simputers, Virtual Racing School, and then obviously Subaru as well, who we've been driving for. But yeah, like you said, got the new facility. I'm sure once we get moved in, we're going to have a few parties celebrating. Yeah, really looking forward to that.
And for those who are worried, John lives in the UK. Legal age is 18 there, so he can enjoy the champagne in full swing after this one. What's it like, though, John, now for the rest of the year? You've got this in the bag. We were talking a couple of days ago about what the rest of the year holds for you. Apex is great with you, right? You do so many things with them, and they help support you. You work behind the scenes with them on some of their business lines. They're helping you to get a university degree as well. I mean, how grateful are you to Apex? And I'm sure for Alex Simpson, he's thrilled to have someone like you part of his team and part of his outfit.
Yeah, it's awesome to have so many opportunities with them. I mean, I think the first thing I'm going to do is have a rest. Just not going to do anything for a while, but certainly got some things planned in the near future, so we'll just see how they turn out.
Well, John, drink it in. I mean, really, we could see you were tense in those closing stages and the look of relief across the line. You've deserved it. Last year, it could have been yours if things had gone your way. This year, it is yours. iRacing World Champion. Drink it in.
Thank you.
That is your world champion, John Robertson. I'm sure those words are never going to feel old for the Brit. But First victory does go to Vicente Salas, who has been ultra impressive in 2021. Most improved driver. That will give him a bonus reward from our sponsors at Yokohama. Paul Smith is standing by with race winner in the final race of the campaign.
Well, I mean, that's one way to finish off the season, isn't it? That's a tremendous job from here today.
Yeah, it was so crazy. You know, this whole season we have put so much effort into these cars every single week, and you know, with Coke ending, it really gave me the chance to put full focus into this series and really give it my all. And I couldn't have done any of this without Jarrett Lieber. I mean, every single week he was there running laps with me, and we put hours and hours into these sets. So really appreciate him, and I'm glad we were finally able to put it together.
Well, that's it. Of course, you did have a really fast car a couple of times this season. It didn't always quite work out for you, but today you've just looked like you've just had something there, something in the water, Arjuna said in the commentary. It seemed to go really well today for you.
Yes, we brought the same car we had here for pro qualifiers, and I feel like we brought something really, really good here a couple months ago. So we already had a really good base to start off, you know. And after what happened at Atlanta Long, you know, the heartbreak of losing the lead on the final lap, it really pushed me and Jarrett both to, you know, try even harder and put even more effort into it to finally, you know, cap it off like this. So I'm really excited.
And you talked about it. It is such an intense season as this, with you having to finish off your commitments with the NASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing series as well. How hard was it being able to juggle those two to start with? You've mentioned being able to focus on Rallycross really did see that upturn in your performance, but how intense has this season been for you here?
Oh, it's definitely been really intense, you know, because obviously I don't think we had any off weeks. You know, we went 1 week, 1 week, 1 week. So every single week, you know, if there were tempers flaring or things that happened with anybody, we carried those feelings into the next race. You know what I mean? So the feelings, you know, the want to win, the want to finish well, it all just amped up, and finally it capped off right here.
Well, Vicente, congratulations on getting yourself a race win here at the end of the season. What a way to cap off 2021.
Yes, 100%. And if I could real quick thank Jarrett Lieber, JDR Graphics for the scheme, Miramar Financial, my mom, my dad, God for putting me in this position, and, you know, just every single person that supports me. I couldn't do it without y'all, and I'm excited for the future.
Thank you very much, Vicente.
Thank you.
And in what was a blockbuster day for the Apex Racing team, for Rahal Letterman landing an esport driver of Kevin Ellis Jr., a second podium to close off his debut IRX campaign. Kevo, I'm sure you're happy, but I'm sure you're more happy for your teammate. Sum up this 2021 year for you, though. First, the Porsche Tag Heuer Esports Super Cup and race victory there. You didn't quite get the victory that I know you wanted here in Rallycross. You came mighty close a couple of times.
Yeah, obviously this year's been super strong. We started out the year really, really well with, obviously, as you mentioned, Tag Heuer Esports Super Cup getting the win at round 1 then. That was an absolute fairy tale weekend, and then to win Carrera Cup GB the very next day as well, and have the championship lead in both championships was just amazing. Then obviously got through the Porsche season, thought I'd give Rallycross a go, and yeah, I mean to step away from this season with P5 is you know, it's an absolute monumental effort. All the guys at Rahal, Letterman, Lanigan, at Apex, you know, Johan, John, Jake, they all got me up to speed this season, and you know, allowed me to secure Rookie of the Year, which is amazing. Obviously, as you mentioned, John won the championship. It's an absolute dream. I know plenty of people aren't happy about the result, but for us, that makes it sweeter. So yeah, their loss.
And as the Rookie of the Year, you have a 3-day Dirtfish Rallycross up for grabs. When are you going to come stateside and get that one done? Of course, you've got some big things coming up on the horizon. You're one of the 4 drivers that will be moving into that Apex team facility and living there full-time, focusing full-time on sim racing for 2022.
Yeah, obviously that's a massive project that we've been working on for, I mean, we've had it in our vision for years, and over the last sort of 12 months or so, we've really managed to get things going. And as you mentioned, it's I'm going to be one of the lucky 4 to be in there, and obviously to walk in as IRX champions is going to be a nice little introduction to the place. Hopefully the guys in the Force Dynamics IR1 Championship can get it done tomorrow as well, and we can win 2 championships in 2 days. That would be an amazing way to start off the facility and the sim center and everything else. But you know, when it comes to coming over to do the Rallycross experience, I'll need to have a quick look at the schedule. Obviously starting next year is pretty busy, so it would take a little bit of planning in advance. It's going to be a long trip as well, so But yeah, we'll do our best to get over there as soon as possible and hopefully get a good bit of content and have some fun.
And let's talk about next year, right? Because it's right on the horizon. Crazy to think that 2021 is coming to an end and the 2022 Porsche Tag Heuer Esports Super Cup is ready to get underway. It's going to be the start of February when you go racing. New car. How's it going for you? I'm sure now that this is over, you can actually start focusing on that Porsche 911 992 Cup car.
Yeah, so, it's been a really busy year. It's absolutely flown past. And, we don't really get much of an off-season now. There's a few kind of competitions that we're still racing in the background. And, of course, the Sim Centre is going to take up a large part of that as well. But in between all that, yeah, I will be able to get properly stuck into the 992. Obviously, doing data packs for the Apex Racing Academy has been really good. It's allowed me to get seat time in it every single week and sort of play around with things and get feedback from our community over there and kind of get a feel for what works with the car and what doesn't. But ultimately, over the next sort of 6 to 8 weeks, we'll really, get an idea on what makes that car click. So far, I'm really enjoying it. It's a big improvement over the 991. So, hopefully the racing can be as good and as action-packed, and hopefully we end next season a few steps higher than we did this year.
Well, high expectations, but that's what Apex is all about, isn't it? Congratulations on the season, Kevo. I know you're stepping away from Rallycross after this, so good way to close things out for you and great way for Apex to close off 2021. Hopefully another championship coming your way tomorrow.
Fingers crossed, guys. Thanks very much. Just want to give a big shout out to all Apex Racing Team guys, RLL, all of our backers and everything else. Congrats to Vicente as well on the win, and of course John in the championship. So thanks for all the work this season, guys. We'll catch you soon.
And that is our final interview of today's action, and for the drivers, final interview on the season as well, Paul. But before we start to wrap things up and close things out for 2021, I'm still just buzzing for John Robertson. I'm sure Yanni is going to be heartbroken, and rightfully so. It was down to the wire, and ultimately didn't even get a chance to really fight it out wheel to wheel with John. But that's the way Rallycross goes. That's what we were talking about earlier today.
Well, and that's it. You have to look back to that first heat race, don't you? How that panned out and the way that you only ended up finishing in second place. That lined him up in the middle of the pack for this feature race here at the end of the day. That sets you up. You get in that mid-pack, it becomes a lottery. It is so difficult and so hard to fight your way through and to try and jump over John Robertson there, especially when he had so many people looking out for his back.
Well, I tell you what, before we say goodbye to you all here on the iRacing Esports Network, let's take the time to dial up Series Director Chris Leone and get an indication from him on how happy he has been with how the season's gone on. No background there, Chris. We do have your, of course, sponsor promotions. You've got the shirt, you've got the hat. How excited are you with finally being done and having a Wednesday back to yourself? Not free, but back to yourself.
Well, we'll see how long that lasts, won't we, Arjuna? First of all, I want to say thank you to everybody. Obviously, our friends at Yokohama, our presenting sponsor and the title sponsor of this race at Charlotte. Our friends at Dirtfish for sponsoring Rookie of the Year and presenting last week at Sonoma. All of the teams who have worked with us. Certainly all of you guys, both in the booth and everybody on the production staff and everybody at iRacing for supporting all this over the past, definitely this season, but over the past few years. It has been a blast. And, we certainly had a lot of fun along the way, but yeah, really excited about everything that's happened. Certainly congratulations to all the drivers for putting in a heck of a performance. And, to John, obviously got the monkey off his back from last year. So really cool to see that. Congratulations to John. Congratulations to Yanni, who put up a hell of a fight. I mean, it was just, this finale was certainly everything we could have asked for from a competitive standpoint. So a lot of fun to watch.
And we have not just the championship to hand out, but we have the team's championship. We've got Dirtfish Rookie of the Year, the Hard Charger Award, Most Improved Driver of the Year. Can you give us the official confirmation on who's winning what when all things are said and done?
Yep, well, we had a few of those that we were able to confirm certainly well in advance. The first one was the Yokohama Pole Award. John Robertson locked that up a few weeks ago by winning his 5th pole. And, well, when you have only 9 races and you win more than half of them, you're getting the award. So congratulations to John for that. Rookie of the Year, Kevin Ellis Jr. locking it up with Ray Hall, Letterman, Lanigan, and Apex, just with a terrific second-place finish today. And obviously Kevin has been a top-tier driver in a number of different series, so cool stuff for Kevin. He joins Yanni Ollikainen as the two winners of that award, and Yanni obviously winning it last year. And that includes 3 days at Dirtfish, travel not included, but 3 days at Dirtfish. I have gone through that course myself and come out a much better driver on the other side. So that's probably one of the cooler prizes that I think we have. Most improved driver, Vicente Salas. Vicente came into this series the first time last year and had some pretty strong performances, but really put it together this year, managed to win a pole, obviously won his first race a few minutes ago, believe either 5th or 6th in the final standings. I think we're still running some of the totals, but congratulations to Vicente. Hard charger, Tommy Nukarinen from Lowenbro Motorsports ends up taking home that honor. Really cool just to watch the guys fighting for the hard charger award. That seemed to change every week with how guys were changing positions. And, certainly we've got the Drivers' Championship and the Team Championship. What can you say about what the guys at SET Esports have done? It was a terrific battle between certainly Yanni and Tommy Hallman, and then the Subaru Motorsports USA duo of John Robertson and defending champion Johan Harth. But, really cool to see just how strong the fight at the front of the championship was this entire season. So congratulations to everybody. Couldn't really ask for more than that. Always fun to see how this plays out over the course of 9 rounds. Certainly fun that we've got some awards that highlight some drivers that, have had some breakout performances and have really done some special things working their way up through the field. So, again, exciting year for sure.
And one final question for you. All-Stars. I mean, what a show they put on every week. You and I were talking last night. I almost feel like we need that to be a regular thing, not just something that we tie to this iRacing Rallycross World Championship. Get an even more eclectic group of drivers. I don't know how that's going to be possible, but I'm sure you'll find a way.
Oh, man. All-Stars is some of the most fun that we have at any point during the year. I mean, those 9 races, some of the guys we brought in Twitch streamers who have been adding hundreds and, even thousands of viewers to these races every single week. We've got real-world pros. We've got, sim racing pros from other disciplines who have never touched Rallycross. I mean, hell, we had, at least 7 different winners this season? Did we have an 8th today? I mean, it looked like the NASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing series in this championship. There were just no repeat winners in the All-Star series, but very eclectic group of people. Luke Knupp, I think, took it by 1 point over GoPro Lopez. So congratulations to Luke. Congratulations to Pablo. And Parker Redslap in 3rd completed a top 3 of racers who I don't think you'll ever see in the same iRacing sessions at any other point for any other reason. We've got an off-road guy, we've got one of the top streamers out there, and we've got somebody who's trying to break into eNASCAR, and by the way, runs the Arca Menard series in real life. That is an incredible lineup. We've got real-world Rallycross guys who have run it, IndyCar drivers like Connor Daly, some Nitro Circus athletes, like Bilko. If I tried to name everybody, we'd be sending this broadcast another 15 minutes. So just to everyone, if I didn't... Yes, hi, Paul. Can't forget Paul Smith doing commentary while driving. I was hoping you guys were going to do that in the suits today. I mean, I feel bad enough that I don't have a Yokohama, tux and tie and whatever, and I had to go with the T-shirt because it was all I had. But just what a blast! Certainly, those races were just all the way around. 2 hours for 9 weeks, so 18 of the most fun hours I think you could possibly imagine this year. And again, thank you to everybody who made it happen.
Well, if that does become a regular weekly thing, give Paul and I a call. We love to race and commentate at the same time. But thanks for all the work, Chris. It's been a pleasure this season. Some really great action. Of course, it's Rallycross. It's always going to be physical. The driver's going to complain to you. You've had to deal with some interesting stuff, I'm sure, behind the scenes. But it's been a great show, and can't wait to see what's in store next for iRacing and future World Championships.
I hope you didn't have the camera on me while I was reacting. Yeah, no, it's a professional racing series, right? It doesn't matter whether it's virtual or whether it's happening in the real world. That's how any racing series is always going to be. Everybody is a type A personality. Everybody is determined to win. Everybody is devoted to their craft. You're going to get that as part of any championship. And certainly, Yeah, it can be difficult and it can be contentious at times. But again, that's no different from, I mean, we did it for 5 years in the real world in GRC, and I was in the race control booth for many a confrontation. It's no different here, but that is a testament to how seriously these drivers and these teams take these championships, especially at a pro level on iRacing. And, it's really cool to see that. It's really cool to see when those drivers and teams break into the real world. There are a lot of talented drivers in this championship who run some races in the real world and who are moving up the ladder, and excited to see their careers continue in both the real world and in the virtual world.
Well, thanks for joining us, Chris. We are ready to wrap things up, though, here for the 2021 iRacing Rallycross World Championship. And Paul, we can finally breathe. Wednesdays are back and free for us. It's been a great ride. I love Rallycross. Cage match on wheels, like you said, bare knuckle boxing at times, but what a season. What a season. What competition. And really, we were in for a treat. And our viewers who've been along for the ride for the last 9 weeks, live broadcasting, always tough. So glad that they've joined us because they've seen some really incredible stuff.
This has been a tremendous championship finale. We always get these championship finales here in Rallycross, and I'm thankful that I've been able to commentate on the last 2 years of this and even produce the broadcast back in 2019. So I've had plenty of hands-on experience of seeing what these Rallycross drivers can put out, and they always seem to amaze us each and every week. And yeah, it's a little bit bittersweet, really, that we're having to end now, but it had to end at some point. And a little tip of the hat, it's John Robertson. Tremendous performance from him this year to take away the championship.
Well, drivers can breathe now, right? Because Vicente Salas said it best. It's been helter-skelter, back-to-back, 9 weeks in a row. No time to rest, no time to look back on your mistakes. Got to keep fighting, got to keep pushing forward. That's what champions do. Ultimately, a champion was crowned. Who's your driver of the year then, Paul? You can't pick John Robertson. I'm going to make you pick someone different.
I think Joni Ollikainen being able to put on a championship fight, to come back from being in LCQs a couple of times and being able to still get decent points. I think he showed a really tremendous fighting spirit out there. He did a very good job, and little good mention to Kevin Ellis Jr. coming in from a different discipline into this and being able to compete at the top. Well,
What a season it has been. But all good things must come to an end. And it's time to wrap up at America's home of racing with the 2021 iRacing Rallycross World Championship presented by Yokohama officially in the books. The hunt for World Championship glory continues tomorrow on the iRacing Esports Network as the Force Dynamics Dallara iRacing Grand Prix Championship heads to the Hungaro ring for its championship showdown, pitting Peter Berryman against Martin van Lozenoord. Catch the action at 7 p.m. UTC or 2 p.m. Eastern. Until then, we'd like to thank you for joining us on the iRacing Esports Network for the last 9 weeks. On behalf of the entire team at iRacing, for the IRX competition team of Chris Leone, Travis Sollenberger, and Tyler Hudson, for our production team of Tyler Maxon, Ryan Bauer, Joshua Lee, Dougie Beard, for my co-commentator Paul Smith. My name is Arjuna Kankipati. The day belongs to John Robertson, $10,000 richer and etched into the iRacing history books. Your 2021 iRacing Rallycross World Champion.